Okay, jump into it. We're live.
Okay, this is basically my general theory of what I laid out, and it was in your your room, your space, and I said the exploding label mic is actually what it was instead of the gunshot. I think the gunshot itself was misdirection, and the guy on the side who looked like he had a palm pistol detonated, and the other guy who was crossing his arms, that was misdirection. The feds taking down all the videos, knowing people were screenshotting everything. As I say, got guys on video saying I gave him CPR. They made his very death look fake on purpose to mess with people's minds into inducing a reaction that the general public would speculate forever about it and never know, quote, what really happened. They did the same thing with JFK, and it was definitely a hit called by the shadow government. That was what my theory was. And I linked the research from this Dana, aka Rotting Jules, and she, with the Michael Aquino psyop stuff. I did reference that. Um, Paul E. Valley or whatever in this paper, psyops to mind war, whatever. I referenced that. Um, so
Yeah, yeah. I just think he's just generally just angry or whatever. I think you guys got into it like a few times or whatever. So it just like,
no, I don't think so. I've never really had any bad interactions with this guy.
I
Um,
remember some negative responses he had to you guys' fights. You know, when you guys were fighting with everyone, right? So it seemed like,
who was
um,
I fighting with?
I think it was like either you or Avian. I remember like there's lots of skirmishes, like little skirmishes that happened
That's
between
true, but
Pinoy,
this
between
isn't
Twilight.
avian.
Right, right. No, I'm just saying like during that time, I remember that Che started like he negatively responded to you a couple times. I don't know if you
Why do you
caught
think?
that.
Why do you think it is? Do you think it like because his point is why would a psy he says that why would a psyop department waste resources and coordinate an elaborate misdirection just for the death to be real? Death by a lapel mic, really? LOL. Like that to me just sounds like, I guess, like dismissal or something like that. Or like, it seems diluted from my perspective because I clearly think that's like what I'm saying is the most likely thing. You know what I mean? And like people can argue that or whatever, but I mean that seems I don't see another way around it really. And I think the from my perspective is like, yeah, they're trying to make it look fake. So people, it's a part of the misdirection. That's the real psyop, I think. Is even questioning it, even questioning the existence of the thing that they do now.
Yeah, there's some truth in that. Sort of poisoning the well. I could see that too.
Yeah, and like that's a common tactic I find. I'm not saying like maybe like the guy is with some organization or whatever. Maybe he just really believes that. Maybe there is a sincere belief behind it. But from my perspective, that seems like a very cognitive thing where like you get so bogged down in the propaganda that it like alters your reality to where you can't have like an honest assessment of something. And like I think that's the purpose of AI as well. It almost gives like this fail safe for the like criminals to commit these crimes in real time and then get away with them and say, well, did that actually happen or not? You know what I mean? That's problematic. That's scary. You know, um, of course, like no one wants to talk about it. I mean, they do, but they don't. But there was videos like that, and like the response from this guy was like, well, like that went viral on, I think he said it went viral on TikTok, And my response to that was, it's like, it's kind of that's a fallacy. And the fallacy is the same fallacy that it was like, I knew that dictator fallacy, which was like, oh, because I knew this person, there's no way they did that thing that everybody says they did, even though there's documented evidence for it. It's almost like the closer a person gets to something, or like the more it's covered, the less reliable it becomes in their own mind, if they want to do like either it's intellectual dishonesty or outright shilling. And like either way, it's like, if it's straight intellectual dishonesty, this is my mindset on it. It's like, you've been literally brainwashed to the point where you can't discern the truth enough, where like you pick the absurd thing. So I don't know. And like, it's not like from a just a personal perspective or something like that, like, on a ground level, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But like, if you apply the concept from like an interaction like that to like a wide scale outlook or a view, how many people think like that, and like how many people are influenced to think like that. And if this is happening in like a mass delusion going on, where people are having similar, like a phenomenon almost, or like a disease that like perpetuates in that way. That's how it is. And it's pretty scary to see, because like there's no amount of
You're
evidence you
saying
could say.
it's skepticism.
Right. And which enlightenment skepticism becomes this thing where it's like, I'm so educated that the truth isn't even acceptable at this point, because I need so much an absurd amount of information to uh whereas like
Well, one of the things that came out was the video itself. There seemed to be
right.
lots of discrepancies within the video.
Well, there was an analysis within the video when it first dropped. This was very early on in the analysis, and the analysis, what I analyzed from it, and the person, I wasn't influenced by what they were saying by any means, because I could physically see the evidence about what they were saying. So let me give you an example. If a person shows me a video and they're like, well, we took thermal, like a thermal camera to this image, and we could see from the lapel mic, this that's where the initial shock is coming from, right? And then you're seeing the body whip in a certain way. You're seeing, the explosion of it, where, and then you're seeing one side of the neck, open up, and another side almost as if like something has burst through this, in a very particular way. And then, you know, you got all the misdirection with the guys, like this guy's doing this thing with his arm, and he looks like he's shooting him from a cross side. And this guy, people thought he had a palm pistol, but maybe, it comes out like the likelihood is he detonated the lapel mic. And this is something that the Israelis, like, I guess, um hyped themselves up about. Like they have been able to attach little explosive devices to small little technical pieces like mics and cell phones and things to assassinate, uh, somebody that's speaking out. And I think what my perspective is like, in the long run, we got a guy who seems to be coming on platforms, and maybe he got a little too big for his britches in their perspective and started talking about Zionism too much, right? And from my understanding, that's the plan. So if the neoconservatives and the right, right wing starts denouncing Israel, what's going to happen? if this great youth leader starts denouncing Israel, right? Whereas he's got all these donors and all this stuff, you know, that has
Yeah.
been supporting as this great
Yeah. Now
Zionist
the
support.
problem. Yeah. Now the problem I can see with that is that if every statement he makes is actually factually controlled by a higher up person, right? So he actually does not make a statement on his own, given that he makes them on these large platforms. Now, there could be that he goes to universities and actually gives candid opinions, but I would find that very unlikely,
You
granted
didn't
his
see the
position.
podcast with the mob guy? The guy that covers all the mob stuff. I forget his name. It's like I forget his. He's a brownish guy,
Huh.
and he always
Yeah,
interviews all the mob guys, right?
refresh my
Well,
mind. Yeah, I don't think I have seen this yet.
well, in this interview, Charlie Kirk is having a conversation with him, and he starts talking about like the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, right? And he like, you could tell that he's overstepping the bounds or the realm of what his donors would like him to talk about. You know what I mean? And it seemed to me like just watching that sort of like that type of video, and then the interactions he had with Ben Shapiro, and like, yeah, like there could be aspects of this where there's like a deception, but I think the main thing that's come out with a person like Charlie Kirk is he was truly convinced of Christian Zionism. This is my theory, right? And I have evidence to back it up just from seeing things, so, and looking at things,
Interesting.
and
Yeah, I
you
guess
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I've not actually became intimate with his viewpoints or any of his content at all. So
Yeah, well, there was a guy named Bill Federer, and Bill Federer like covers kind of like geopolitics and history, like a historian, and he's also like has like sort of like a pro-Christian Zionist lean to his stuff, and like he was a part of the Turning Point sort of stuff. Well, I started following his account, and he covers all like the Hegelian dialectic, critical race theory. He covers like all these historical kind of positions, Marxism. He talks about things that Stalin did during the Soviet era that you're not hearing pretty much from anybody else. Um, but him and Charlie Kirk seem to be close at a certain point. And with a guy like that, like, it's hard not to sort of find the sources that would lead you out. Let's say if you were a true diehard Zionist, but if you look deeply at those type of topics, like you're going to come in contact with material that might open your eyes, especially if it's like, okay, like an Orthodox Christian's perspective on Christian Zionism. What if somebody like him did look at that, right? And he goes, oh, like a Christian doesn't need to support the state of Israel because it was created by Moses Hess and blah, blah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same Israel the Bible's talking about. Like, I think he really believed probably something that goofy.
right. So you're saying that his strong opposition to Israel comes from a fundamental belief in Christian Zionism that then became uprooted. So his rejection was stronger than it previously could
Right.
have
Like,
been.
I think that he became a dissenter on the Zionist belief systems because, like, I think at a certain point, because if you grow up like a Protestant, which it seems to be that was what he was involved in. But my guess would be like, he's probably like secretly in Masonry, you
Now,
know.
now let me ask you a question,
What?
right? Because Harrison Smith, right? We just watched a video by Harrison Smith, right?
Right, right, right.
And we can tell, like, we exposed, like, we were watching it privately, but still we were able to pick up on his disingenuous commentary, right? He's totally lying left and right. He's propagandizing the situation. He's making up just false talking points in favor of a country that's not his. He's basically committing treason on camera almost, right? All this
Is he
type of stuff, right?
pro-Zionist? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's pro-Zionist, right?
Yes.
He's on the war room. He could be anti-Zionist now. There could be a sort of change of pace on the war room that used to be run by Steve Bannon, the pro-Zionist component, right? But this
Right.
is one of the talking points they came out and said right away, right? They said Israel, because Charlie Kirk was talking about Israel, they assassinated him. So what likelihood is there that Harrison Smith would then just come out and tell the truth at great personal risk to himself?
Well, this is my thing with it is like they could say it was
But you
Israel.
see what I'm saying, though?
I understand what you mean by that, right? But they could say it's Israel, but why would it? I think that a lot of times a person like that, it's almost like this. I'm gonna reveal the truth to you while being a source that's unreliable that you don't trust. So when I do reveal the truth to you, you don't trust the truth.
So this is like the Onion News or something like that.
Well, I mean, that's what these people do. Like we see it all the time where they reveal like true things. Now, is it like outsourced in some way? Probably, I believe so because that's what they do. They hand off money to people. You know what I mean? It could be clean through a couple hands. It might not necessarily be exactly Israel, but somebody else with Zionist belief systems or another belief system that sort of got under his radar. It's something about a belief system. Now, that's my take. Now, if it's not true, that I'm willing to, look at other information. But when I look at it, I'm not seeing that, it's just like a fake death or something. I don't see that, and when I'm looking at this other material that adds to it, it's like, well, yeah, like of course someone like him would say that when it's the obvious, you know, like because everybody who would look at the information objectively would come to that same conclusion. Now, why he would say it and be a shill in other instances is beyond me. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, because that would be the number one reason why I would doubt it, is because these misinformation, disinfo platforms came out and said that, right? So then I would, think, well, that's interesting. So then I would reserve judgment to see if they got that from either Israeli intelligence or somebody else.
Right. Well, okay. So here's what Candace Owens is saying. She says because I am certain that the French Foreign Legionaries, a military unit made up of multiple nationalities, were involved in Charlie's assassination. I feel that it is urgent that I share the following information with the public. We'll start with a question. What is it about Brigitte Macron that required Charlie Kirk, followed by Sergio Guior, and then President Donald Trump to personally call me and ask me not to further investigate her? At that time, it seemed absurd. Funny about Sergio Guior was pretty fired up about it, but why? Why is the story of a man cross-dressing on a first lady in France apparently the biggest? See, this is nonsense. Well, that's what I see. More misinformation. That's a misinformation, poison the well. But I guess here's the other thing. Why is Turning Point USA going for like a huge pro-Zionist push then? Right? That's an indication if he's speaking out the last month of his life against these topics, and then like, you know, you got a giant, shift in direction from the organization that he established or and is known to be a psyop thing, why are they going with pro-Zionist talking points? You know, so that's strange, don't you think? Like, what's going on with that? Yeah, I would say, yeah, exactly. Like, what am I talking about? That this if an organization goes against everything the last guy that stood up and said anything goes with, all right, it's kind of that leads me to believe like maybe that's not just a conspiracy. Maybe that is. Or it was like, I think that what most people would say uh, is that it was likely the people around him. Did I have full evidence for this? No, I think but I just feel like it's a little weird how his wife's acting. She's throwing up the psychological warfare devil horns that's like in the cover of Michael Hoffman's book. There's this connection with this Scientology guy and psyops, and so what's the psyop then? Like from somebody like his perspective, is it just like it was a fake death? And but even then, so he's off the world stage now. All right, so now they're furthering a Zionist agenda. Like either way, that's still happening.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if it's distraction. But yeah, we've seen some weird stuff.
What is?
So I mean, so then what do you think about what Candace Owens is saying?
What did you say though? Like before that?
I said it could be a distraction.
Yeah, but after that.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Like, yeah, if I would like some type of passing comment. But what I wanted to say here is this thing about Candace Owens, right? About posting the um man, what's her name again? I keep forgetting her name. Rotting Jewels. Yeah, I keep thinking it's like like
Yeah. What do you think about that person? Oh, did she post the rotting jewels? Because that person responded to me today.
who?
Rotting jewels.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I
So what
talked to
did she
that
say?
person. Well, she was just saying that she thought my theory was interesting. That's what she said.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I like linked an article to like a JFK like report from the Warren Commission and like this like Serbian text I transcribed into English or whatever, where this like Serbian guy's talking about how like the CIA basically like came up with all these like um, buzz terms to use against people that didn't accept the official position of the Warren Commission. So that was my connection with like a shadow government
But
kind of thing.
I believe she's saying, or at least me and Neuro were looking at last time, right? She's saying that Candace Owens is a psyop.
I believe that because whatever I just read was utter nonsense. She's talking about like
Right,
the French
exactly.
or something. I don't even know like
Right,
what
like
that was.
what?
Like you ball of confusion. Like I watched her one time and she was talking about like a David Icke conspiracy or something like reptilians, and I was like, oh, this is weird. It's very Gnostic of her, you know. But like,
So this is the thing is like if you know Charlie Kirk, right? Because Candace Owens started with Charlie Kirk, right? And now she's spreading misinformation about his assassination, even though she's linked to some pretty weird entities. And so is Charlie Kirk.
yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I asked in the original post. I said, why is it that the alternative media is like Carlson, you know, Fuentes and Candace Owens and like all these people is like I said they always control the opposition, which is true. You know what I mean? I know that's happening, but I'm trying to like keep up with all the twisted knots. It's like I'm not denying like a guy like Harrison, whatever his name is like a Zionist shield, or like that Candace Owens is a liar. That's not my position. I guess it's like more like what are they trying to cover up, and what, like, how many turns are they twisting to misdirect like something that
Right.
sometimes could be obvious. You know what I mean? It could be the obvious thing. They don't want it to be obvious or something. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because like I don't know, like if I guess like like I've been around some scheming and criminal activity, you know what I mean? And that's how criminals act, dude. Like they'll make you they'll twist you and spin you around, dude, circles. And it'll be like something real simple sometimes. Like I know it.
So I guess I'll put this on. Let's see what this is about. Neuro sent me this. I have no idea where to take this thing. Yeah, Neuro just started this. I'm gonna do another show at 7:30. So so it's different things. I have a bunch of stuff stored up in my head for that show. So I'm kind of like
What are you covering?
the panel stuff. So a bunch of the people on the panel, they seem to admit that they're actors. So I have recordings of all of them, and so I'm just gonna play those recordings. I'm gonna play the gatekeeping that the smaller groups do and who they're involved with on the larger level, right? And a bunch of weird stuff. So like a bunch of these weird groups that are around.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Wilson's interaction with the powder dusty guy, right? That was very, very strange, right? So
I've never heard of him. Who's Powder Dusty?
that was the guy that was reviewing the panel. He's like, "Oh, I have so many cars and stuff." Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy's like he's like saying that all these people cuck to Wilson, but he's the one who cucks.
I see.
So that's the main thing we're exposing. And then going off of that, bunch of the people that they collude with on the panels that just claim, "Oh yeah, we're just actors, we're just entertainers, we're just doing this for money. We just play characters for money." Online.
Have you ever heard of Ryan Upchurch?
No.
So he's this guy from Tennessee, and he's been like independent, like making music for like 10 years or whatever. And he does like kind of like outlaw country rap type stuff. And he's like was talking about in a video like how like the record labels are trying to force him to sign, and like since he won't sign, they're like kind of worried. Like the idea is like this is like one of the only people in America who kind of broke the system, you know, out of Tennessee in this way. And it's like he's pretty big. Like he's like the underground, and he's underground to extent, but he's like breaking into the mainstream without the label. You get what I'm saying? And like people like Jelly Roll and like I don't know, they like there's a couple other people who were trying to like get him to sign contracts and do all this stuff. And because he wouldn't, he's like they're like everybody's like coming after him like, oh, this guy's on drugs and he's like crazy, he's schizophrenic. And it's like, what's it really rooted in? Because he wouldn't sign to your
Yeah,
label.
dude.
You know?
That's what's going on with these panels. Exactly. Like they'll go around, they'll say, "Well, the machine lies like he's a crazy Muslim, he supports radicalism, and like beat his wife, and like he did all this crazy stuff. He's like a wild man, he wants to shut down technology, he wants to shut down civilization. He wants civilization to end. I heard that one yesterday. I want civilization to end. I want the world to end. Right up. All this stuff. So yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like yeah.
You don't join the group and you get, you know.
Also, you're a fake intellectual. You read from a teleprompter. You didn't really write your book. All this stuff.
Slander haters, bro. Like they're all there. I mean, there's a lot of them, man. And like, dude, I deal with that. I deal with that too. And sometimes, bro, like I try not to respond to it, but sometimes like certain things, it's like they hit the right nerve. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say something, and I try to say
Yeah,
something like that exposes them. Because usually,
yeah,
man, you give a person enough rope, they'll hang themselves with it. Like you're not gonna clown me, man. Like um,
yeah. I just like record a bunch of them. So we're up to like the sixth show, right? So if people start like making up stuff or whatever, like we'll start recording them. So until we find a narrative where we could really like say like, oh, this is what these guys do. Like, look, this is what their show's about. And then we'll make a show about it and be like, look at this channel, look at these fools. This is what they do. This is their channel. They talk about us, but this is what they do. This is their thing.
exactly.
Right? So yeah. So this is So I like to do that. So we're up to like episode 6 now. So we've done it like 5 other times. So you know, periodically we'll just save up shit. Now this time Brown's boy got a bunch of good stuff. He actually saved up a bunch of these guys admitting to a bunch of shit. So
That they're
so
actors, right?
yeah, that
And
they're
it's like,
actors. Yeah.
okay, so you're like, who do you think's paying them or something? Is it's intelligence, or would you say that, or what? You don't
No,
want
I
to talk
would
about?
say, yeah, maybe like maybe if it was intelligence that's connected to private security firms, right?
I see,
Right, and they're
right.
attached to corporations, but probably not the feds or something like
So in
that.
other words, it's like being like probably washed through a couple places, in some way.
Right. Yeah.
They're off sourcing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed that way. Or the
Hmm.
audiences look fake too. The chats look fake.
Well, here's
Or
something interesting that I'm gonna read something to you that you might find interesting. So I found this from this really good account that I've been following. The same guy who wrote. Remember that Alex Jones article I sent you? Um, with the guy like Fritz something. I don't know. His name was Fritz. He's got
Springmaker? Talking about Fritz Springmaker?
Fitzpatrick Informer. You know what I'm
Oh
talking about?
wait. Oh no, wait. Yeah, yeah. I think I do remember this. Yeah,
Okay, so
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick Informer posts this today. He's like, Trump's isolationism hatched in Russia. Soviet Russian strategist Alexander Dugin in 1997 says, quote, Russia should introduce geopolitical disorder into the internal American activity, encouraging all kinds of separatism and ethnic, social, and racial conflicts, actively supporting all dissident movements, extremist, racist, sectarian groups, thus destabilizing internal political processes in the United States. It would also make simultaneously to support isolationist tendencies in American politics. Quote, isolationism fundamentally advocates neutrality and opposes entanglement in military allegiances and mutual defense pacts. In its purest form, isolationism opposes all commitments to foreign countries, including treaties and trade agreements. Now, I thought what he says is President Krasnov's isolationism hatched by Duganis in the Kremlin. Okay, so I got to thinking about that. So, of course, we know the situation with Tim Pool. It's like getting this money, and he's like pushing like neoconservative kind of Trotskyite ideas. He's low key a skateboarder, you know what I mean? So it like appeals to like a youthfulness in the culture, and there's like trying to appeal to that subset almost. But that's also kind of like backwoods and country ish or something. But this guy's kind of a dweeb. But then, like, if they pay somebody like that, right? Like a guy like that, who just, I don't know, I don't take him that seriously as a political commentator. Who else are they willing to pay? And like, as he's saying, he's like extremist movements, racist movements, sectarian groups. So how many groups are we talking about that they're willing to like throw money into to push like weird narratives or like even their own narratives?
Yeah, well, this is the weird connection because Paul Vallely, right? He's like talking about how he knew like Michael Murphy, who started the Esalen Institute or whatever, right? And Michael Murphy like wrote this book, right? Where he's like talking about communists infiltrating the US government or some shit.
Right.
And then Vallely's talking to Michael Murphy about this book and he's like, this has already happened or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, or
Uh huh.
and all this shit. So yeah, so this is a weird fucking like I'll send you this video because this is a weird fucking video of the connection between the Esalen Institute and and Michael Murphy, right? And Paul Vallely, right? So that's interesting because right when the Tim Pool guy was first there, right, he appeared on Joe Rogan Experience, right? So that's how he got blasted because he talked to the Twitter CEO or whatever before Elon Musk owned Twitter. There was a different dude who owned it.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey, and some people
Jack
say
Dorsey.
and some people say Jack
Scientology.
Dorsey, and well, and Jack. Some people say Jack Dorsey invented Bitcoin too. By the way, so
He was a Scientologist too, right?
I don't know. He might be,
I feel like I've read that somewhere, man.
Yeah. So this guy
but
Jack Dorsey. Yeah.
he was like a cypherpunk back in the '90s, and like could have invented Bitcoin. So go ahead, sir.
No, so he's definitely like a part of this. Like if I'm not mistaken, there was a magazine that came out of like the spy magazines, which is like it's like the most fed magazine of out there. The spy, the spy magazines. He like there was an old spy magazine where it talked about Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And like this mysterious Japanese inventor of it or something. But everybody, assumed that, it's really just a pseudonym or a false identity to distort. So what you're saying is it's actually this guy. And I've heard other people say that it was created by the feds. So, was he working with the feds to create it?
Well, it's just interesting how the people who run that would mean that everybody who runs a platform is connected to the Bitcoin in some way, right? Because the Jack Dorsey guy, he was heavily promoting Bitcoin on Twitter before the Elon Musk guy took it over, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting connection there, but the so this guy founded Cash App, I think Elon Musk or whatever, right? So there's a lot of different like whatever but anyways,
He
right?
was in
This
like a
guy,
house with like a bunch of entrepreneurs that would go on to make like Fortune 500 businesses, and they were
yeah.
like known as like a gang of some like the gang. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah,
Yeah,
Neuro probably
so when
definitely knows it, yeah.
yeah, what it was is he was in like a house full of guys that like all these like engineers and people that the guy that made eBay, the guy who made the original X.com, and him, and like PayPal, and all these like really big businesses that we see today, like in the big tech companies, came out of this like group of guys that all lived in one house. It was like almost like a secret society, right? You know what I mean? That they would later go on to dominate, Silicon Valley, and like they plotted it all in this house.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to get at is that they had Elon Musk, right? They had Alex Jones on Joe Rogan Experience, right? He's a huge promoter of the Esalen Institute, right? Like he promoted a bunch of like Esalen propaganda, right? Like he promoted like Alan Watts and Terrence McKenna and stuff, right? Like he
Absolutely.
refurbished all of these names, and right, and then Alex Jones came on and he's like the DMT is aliens and shit, They're like, the DMT is aliens, and then they had a clip of the DMT. They had the Eddie Bravo guy come on and defend
Right.
flat Earth. So then they popularized flat Earth. So it's
Right.
like this psyop
Millions of
hub.
people, man.
Yeah,
Millions
it's
of
just
people.
it's like a
Tim
psyop.
Duncan, the Satanist, and like
Yeah,
perpetuating Bohemian Grove is it's just it's like a cool little party we go to.
yeah, they popularized all this on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Satanism, dude.
So yeah, so Elon Musk, right? Owen Benjamin, right? Also,
That's some interesting stuff. You look into that
yeah,
situation.
and
They
also Jack
drugged him
Dorsey,
up.
right?
They
Jack Dorsey, right? Like when they had Jack Dorsey on there and Tim Pool interviewed Jack Dorsey, it was one of the top episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience. I don't know if you remember this. It was a huge
No, I've
deal.
never seen it. So wait, Tim Pool interviewed Jack Dorsey on the Joe Rogan.
This is when he was propelled to fame. This is when Tim
Okay.
Pool was created as an internet persona. Right?
Oh, but why is it that this Tenet Media company? It comes out that the Soviets are funding him, but he started his career with Rogan. So does that mean there's a connection between the Soviets and Rogan?
That's what I'm trying to get to, is that because there's a connection between the Russians and the Esalen Institute, right,
Yeah.
and also to Paul Vallely, right? There seemed to be a huge connection between Paul Vallely, Alex Jones, and Joe Rogan, right? So
Right.
that's just my opinion, that these guys set up a lot of these alternative media guys, right? And also, right, recently, right, the guy Jaronism, who was one of the main flat Earth guys, right?
Yes.
He went to Antarctica or whatever, apparently, supposedly, right? Allegedly, right? So he got clearance to go to Antarctica, where like the Russian military and the U.S. military is allowed. so he like went there to go take a videotape of the 24-hour sun, right? So he appeared on a local show, right, OTW News, to debate him, right? The guy, right? Modern Men Lost Again, right, or whatever, right? Who's like looking up all this info, apparently on me, right? He said that Dr. Skrbina was a protege of the Unabomber, right? And he also said like, which is just made up information. He said like, I like want civilization to end, and like, they're like, telling people that I didn't really write the book, that I sell and all this stuff, that it's like written by something, I don't know, by some entity, ghostwritten, because it was before AI, it was before they had these tools, right? So it's interesting, right? But
So they're just trying to take validity away from your
this guy,
scholarly pursuits.
Yeah, but this guy worked with Jaronism and Alex Stein. Isn't that interesting?
So they got shadow government connections, brother. This is crazy, dude.
Well, this is funny because when I walked up and told him, I'm like, hey, you guys are actors online doing all this stuff. You guys edit videos. You guys are part of a production company or whatever, right? Like you're doing a bit online, like whatever. The guy responds with that. He goes, yeah, we're part of the CIA. We've been looking into you for 5 years, buddy. You're like paranoid and.
Oh, he said that to you?
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he said that, like laughing and smiling and stuff.
Oh, so they've been looking at you for 5 years, TML. Now, do you feel comfortable, man? I mean, like what? I mean,
he's joking, but see, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, it was my bad, dude. Like, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Modern Men Lost Again guy.
I don't know about him, so.
You don't?
No, I don't. No. If I do, I just don't. I can't think. I can't think of the guy. I'm not just like saying that either. I don't know.
Here, let me show you this video here. Give me a second here. Yeah, because it seemed like. You missed some of this stuff. So I had interacted with this guy, right? I asked him, I'm like, because he was going on and saying he's a Freemason and all this stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, so how much do you know about the Freemasons? right? So I start asking him about Freemasons and if he's a Freemason, right? And then I asked him, I said, did you work for the Rose 777 lady, right? Who worked for Owen Benjamin and stuff, right? I said, did you work for this lady, right? And he said no, but then later he said that she sends him a bunch of messages and she told him to work with Jack Talcott and all this other stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, so he lied about that one, right? And then we find out that he was editing shows for Alex Stein and Jaronism, right? Called the Baby Truther Show, right? So we found the show online, right? Right, and we were watching this show. There's like a tranny on the show, right? It's like a bunch of weird stuff going on this fucking show, right? So it looked like, and it's called the Baby Truther Show. So they're like making fun of people who believe in conspiracy theories. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right. So very, very, CIA, like,
It just seems like it's just very interesting setup, right? So then, so I'm like, okay, what have we stumbled upon here, right? And then I asked the guy about technology and AI and stuff, right? And this is where he loses his mind, right? He starts telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and the
right.
technology is going to benefit us, and
that one, yeah.
yeah, you remember this guy now, huh?
No. Well, I've
Yeah.
I've dealt with a couple. We talked. Wait, are you talking about the No, tell me who you're talking about. Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
This guy here. You remember this guy? It's fucking weirdo.
Let's see. Not really. I really don't.
Yeah, well, they made this show, TML, Landry, Crash Out, whatever. Like, he tried to feign like some sort of debate with me about technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he like clearly like lost the debate, and then he like went around like doing shows saying that he won a debate against me or whatever, right? And I'm like, that's really weird, right? So then I invited them on my show, right?
Yeah.
So they like came on the show, right? Like he wanted to do a show to grift, and then I let them come on this show, right? So this is the show, YouTube Municipal Trash Department, right? This is a random show we did, one day because this guy wanted to debate me, so I had him walk up and debate the entire panel, right? So there they debated like Rant, Pinoid, like Avian Buddha, like they all told them their views, like they got destroyed like 19 times, right? So so it's just pretty funny episode. So we just did that for 3 hours. We let them cycle through all their complaints about how they think like technology, isn't controlling us, blah blah blah, right? And and they try to defend Andrew Wilson's position. They try to say that I said like you can't control like a simple hammer and stuff. Like like I claim like you can't like control like a pen that you use or like a hammer that you pick up and use. Like this is what they thought the brunt of my argument was this, right? Or something.
When you're talking about technique, it's just a totally different topic.
Right, it's a totally different idea.
Yeah,
right.
So
they didn't
an
get
unconscious thing, really. It's an unconscious conscious thing in the sense that you're always aware. It's in the background,
right.
But a good way to put it is this: like, I think the biggest critique I've found on this idea is the birds chirping like car alarms, right? And I know that sounds strange, but that is true. It's like, what have we done to ourselves? Where nature is trying to replicate, the sounds of our technological enslavement in a way or something. I don't know, and we don't even know it because now the birds are even going along with it. Or like a man stops his car at a stoplight and there's no one there. You wait. Why? Because it's the system's telling you when to go, and that's not. Some people can take it some way, like this is impeding on my freedom in some way. And it is in a lot of ways because it's kind of the Huxley type idea. You're enslaved to the things that you possess, right? Begin to be start possessing you. which, yeah, we all experience that, I think. Um, it's an existential crisis, really. I think that's why people don't like it, right? Like it has that quality to it. But I mean, still, from my perspective, it's like, yeah, that's happening. But the common idea I see is like, if the system itself is doing something like that, you render to it what it is deserved, and you try to detach yourself from it. That's the only way, really, to do it. Is sort of try to at least put on the full armor, and know what it is that is happening. And in that sense, I think that people will be less likely to fall for the trap, I guess, while we still can. Because I know you say in the future, this is just going to be um, far worse.
Right. To the effect that like most people think they're like perfectly in control and like living their best life at the moment, right? Even though they're like perfectly controlled, right? So it's like it's actually very interesting, right? That if you could convince people that they're free while being so controlled right now, then there almost maybe no hope in the future, right? For certain people,
Absolutely.
right? That don't realize it.
Well, Orwell said something really interesting. He's like, it's like we're living perpetually in the moment where everything that's happening, the party, it's dictated by the party, right? And
Right.
he's like talking about falsifying the past, and he's like, even if am I the only one that remembers what truly happened, or even when I falsified it and all this other stuff. And it's like that's the world we're living in, is where we're sort of dealing with these people who say they can control what truth means, and or what is truth in general. Even if it's a lie, it doesn't matter. You have to obey. And they do it through their systems, and like their systems are designed for that purpose, is control, and a lot of times, like as we always talk about, it's like control through chaos, right? It's like they want people losing their minds. They're perfectly fine when, like, true extremist groups popping up, like accelerationism and all these like, terrible beliefs, because these are all tools they use to justify the utopia they plan on reigning in a lot of ways. It's like this is how they.
Oh no way! We're actually being, or I could be wrong, or we're
What?
actually being, we could be being reviewed on a third channel or something. I don't know.
Right now, someone's reviewing this.
Oh no, I think I'm wrong.
Well,
I think I might be wrong. Here, hold on. Let me see.
even so, it's not. It's you got to speak, man, because otherwise, what? No one's going to talk about these things, um, even if it's not heard, because it is true. Um, because we're gonna get.
Right.
I definitely see it. Like the future is gonna be just like this self-perpetuating lie, and anyone who doesn't hold up the lie will be ostracized from the establishment, or the this one world system. And a lot of people say AI is going to dictate that. Oh, you don't meet the standards of this self-imposed, like, humanistic, hyper, like reason, autistic, satanic slavery, then the AI bot's going to cast you out of society and like determine your like prison system in some way. The gulag term, right? Like that's where we're heading. That's the world they want, because they're guaranteed returns on their investments if they control every aspect of a man's life. You know, that's why Bernays is so interesting, right? It's like that's how they do it. all this money and time into like figuring out ways to get you to do what they want you to do, and people do it. That's the crazy thing. There's like the amount of people that are being churned out as true converts to the technological system, you know, are exponential. There's millions that are preparing themselves for a one world dictatorship of this techno satanic, you know, despotism or something. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
I said something on my X account today or Twitter account today. I said, uh, if you're not being called crazy, I don't trust you. You know, I mean that, man. Um, because like I asked the question, I was like, why is it that everybody's heroes and talking heads don't get the Templars in their comments and the Bolshevik Orthodox in their comments, you know, the KGB agents in theirs, but my tiny itty little bitty channel has all these guys, but these other guys, you don't see one comment that you know says anything about you know, sort of where you get the sense that, oh, Jay Dyer's life is in danger. Why is that? You know, or some whoever Dyer, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just that's not what you get across that. And I'm not wishing that on anybody. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, though, however, it's like, why are the accounts that are not nearly as large getting more pushback from like really satanic, you know, organizations like the Templars and the KGB, when you have these large platforms that are pushing you know, similar material, and they don't get that type of reaction, right? So what's happening?
Oh my god, man. You get like a phone call every 30 minutes. I get like a phone call. It's a scam phone call.
Yeah, I don't know. We get a lot of them too. I feel like that's almost like, nah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say. But I wonder if they could do something like that, just like drive you crazy by scam phone call.
Yeah, I'm about to put that shit on silent. It's
Dude,
ridiculous.
it's crazy, man. That is nuts. Like what, you know? And you know what it is? It's like they sell our information all the time, man. You know, so it's not even like I'm to the point where with it, like, you know, I try to take steps to like be like a good password or something, but that's the extent, man. I'm not doing all that, dude. I don't care. Like, you know, they want to listen in, man. Okay, you're gonna hear some prayer sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Like, you go for it, bro. You know, but you're gonna be bored. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at with my life personally, because it's like I don't feel like none of these people that, like, you know, want you to fear them or whatever. Man, I'm not scared of nothing. Go bring it. You know, my whole life I've dealt with some really crazy things, man, to the point where it's like, okay, like, you think there's anything that I won't say? You know what I mean? Do you think I like? I grew up in where we grew up. I know that, I don't know if you're like this, but man, as an American, like, that's our right. We're supposed to be the one people in the world that say the things you can't. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to that?
Yeah, so this is the dude that work with Jeranism right here. On this show, I confronted him yesterday. Actually, he came up because I said some things, right? So he just came up. I mean, so hold on, let me get to the part of this. Because I'm like, oh, you guys are all actors, and then he comes up, right? And he's like, so what if I'm an actor? It's like crazy.
I'm on Broadway. You know, this reminds me of Myron Fagan. Man, he was saying in the 20s. You know, he was saying all the actors are communists. So if all these people are claiming to be actors, then they're communist.
But this is like the second or third time I point out, I'm like, these guys are part of some kind of improv show, and this dude comes up right on demand. He's like, so so why are you fake? He's like, you have a problem, you're insecure, like he'll make up all these things.
You're schizophrenic. You're
Right.
perpetually this. You're perpetually online. You do this. You walk funny. You know what I mean? Well, let's say anything, man. Okay. But I mean, I'm doing it for the most part. We do most of our stuff, at least I do, anonymously. So what are you gonna say? Like, what can you say about me, man? You don't know nothing about me.
So when Andrew Wilson was reviewing like the Panelverse stuff, right? He was apparently reviewing my show according to Zephyr, and then he was reviewing he was reviewing me reviewing them, and then he started reviewing them reviewing Rob Noah or whatever, sending trolls in or whatever. So one of the trolls they sent in was this dude, Modern Men Lost Again or whatever, right? And the name really says it all. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like what the
Modern
fuck.
men lost together. Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
much blind leading the
yeah,
blind. I know that.
right.
Yeah, we're in some pretty strange times in America, and you know, I think of my grandfather often. Man, he was an old war veteran, Green Beret. You know, and then my other grandfather was in the CIA. A lot of people don't know that, but that's true, right? But I came from two pretty intelligent old men, you know, and they say it skips a generation. So I feel like I got both sides, you know, a little bit. I'm ready for war with it. But he's he used to say, you know, if someone he was talking about communism in one of his letters. I read my grandfather's letters, and he was talking about how, like, you know, if people don't like the American system, then maybe they should go over to a communist nation. And now, you know, I think he'd be turning in his grave if he's seen how many are claiming to be conservatives, while they're really neo Trotskyite, you know, communists. Totally. And they've, you know, just sold out all of their, you know, any backbone they had to, you know, a Zionist intent, a globalist. You know, even when it's not Zionism, it's really globalism. Just another word for it, because they're all under the same blanket. Um, you know, we could survive with a basic form of capitalism where it's like, okay, a man can start his own business, and a man can feed his family from this business that he started. Capitalism. That's beautiful, right? You can live and do what you think is right for your family on your own land, and no one can do anything, and you have your own business. That's beautiful. Here's the issue. It's the big business guy who's like, well, I don't want the small business guy to have anything. I want to control the whole world. You know what I mean? So it's like this greed head mentality where it's like, I don't want anybody to own anything but me. you know and you've got a whole lot of those people, man, and they're running our society. Like, they're the guys in the banks, and like they're literally having speeches where it's like, we'd like to thank the New York Times for shutting up for 15 years so we can institute our plan. We paid you well and you did your job. You know what I mean? That's what. And people let it happen, man, because we're so busy. They keep you busy, man. When you're a debt slave to the privately owned bank that prints its own money and creates an indefinite amount of debt that has to be paid off with bodies, you know feeding the whole American people to Moloch, while these people fly around on jet planes, old men in air conditioned rooms sending young men out to die. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I take it you do not know who Illumitami is, then, huh?
I've had interactions with him. I seen him on
Oh
a
yeah, you
bus
went
one
on his
time.
show. I actually
Yeah,
forgot about that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right.
yeah. I don't know anything really about him. He was all right to me,
Yeah,
but
he's not all right. Yeah, he's not all right.
I don't know him. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
was. I mean, we had a conversation about. I think it was just Christ, really. You know what I mean? But then
Right. But
he
he's
wanted
a
me out of
he's
there. I could tell he was trying to get me off of there because he didn't want to go. He
yeah.
didn't want to go in that direction. He wanted to go somewhere
He
else. I don't
LARPs as
know.
a Christian Zionist online. This guy.
Oh, I didn't know that. See,
Yeah, he
I
does.
didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, he LARPs as that, but also he does a bunch of other stuff too. Like he's like oh, so I wasn't actually playing that. Whoops. Sorry about that, dude.
So what if that's the case? I think what that is like, we had a decent conversation because we were like talking about very basic Christian concepts, right? Um, but then I think what it is like, at a certain point he didn't want me up there because maybe something like that, but I didn't pay attention. You know what I mean? So maybe it was like, oh, this guy knows his stuff and he's gonna call me out if I say something crazy. I don't know. Because I'm gonna keep it real. I don't care, dude. Whatever. Get offended.
Right. Yeah, but he'll like pretend he's this guy's like actor. So I'm just pointing out like that this dude comes on, he like plays different characters. You know what I mean, right? Like I think he like came up on Neurojack one day, and then Neurojack was just entertaining him for some reason. So you might have went to go check out a show or whatever, but we noted that you were on there, and it was really funny to us because the dude's not serious or whatever. You know what I'm saying, right up.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
So,
so
all right. Well, I don't know. No, like
yeah,
this,
so
I tried to, when I have a conversation, it doesn't matter who it's with.
right. No,
My
yeah,
intention is
no,
like, you're
yeah, I get
human,
it.
I'm human. Let
Yeah,
me
I had
try
him
to
up
get
tons of
to you.
times. Yeah, I had him up tons of times.
You know, it's like, I try to treat every human being. It doesn't matter who they are. Even if I was to come in contact with a Zionist, I would at least try to figure out what their mindset would. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, like back then I thought they were like playing all these characters because they're trying to like build up to something. But then these guys started their own show, and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is all they do. So then I got really confused and a little bit like, uh, dismayed at their entire thing. I'm like, all right, well, you guys just act, right? So then you know, ever since then, me and Brown's boy have just been like hammering them, in terms of telling them that nothing they do or say actually matters, right? Because their opinions are fabricated. They're, it's all a LARP, right? So it's hard to take
Right.
it seriously. You know?
You know, but I don't know. Do you think? Let me ask you a question, a serious question, because I was just thinking about this. If you go up onto a LARPer show, let's say, do you remember when we went on DPH? Do you remember that?
Yes, but I think he's a different sort
I see what you're
of,
saying. Okay.
yeah, like he's doing an intellectual bit, right? Whereas Illuminati's doing I'm a homeless guy who smokes meth, bit, right? And I
But what do you think
potentially,
he's really into? Because he was talking about some pretty weird things when I watched him. Because this is what he was talking about. He was like, I'm meeting this girl, and
yeah,
like, he's talking about like people going missing in cities.
exactly, yeah. They're doing a whole LARP bit, like with the pedo stuff. Like one time people accused him of being a pedo, right? And then he went into it by saying he like slept with a 17-year-old girl or something like
Oh
that.
no, man!
Weird, yeah. He like leaned into it, right? And then he started putting little kids on panels and stuff. So he sent like little kids to panels.
Man,
So it's like, how does he have
that's
contact with
sick.
little kids that he sends to like panels and stuff that are,
That's crazy, dude.
yeah.
I don't
So
know.
yeah, so it's like some weird groups and stuff that they're involved with or
Did you
whatever.
see that thing with AP recently? Not to change the subject, but it reminded me of this. Apostate Prophets on the guy's show that used to be close with the white guy that used to be close with Sam Schumann. And the guy like admits that he went to prison for like doing some pretty strange things, dude. And he was like, yeah, I was a bad guy in the past or something. And he's like, all like saying it like, oh, yeah, you think I don't know they're going to come and attack me about this thing? You know what I mean?
What show is this?
This was a apostate prophet, and then this white guy that used to back Sam Schumann or whatever his name is. The Muslim of like
Yeah, send
apologetics
me the clip.
guy.
Yeah. I know him. Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can find it, man. It was crazy, dude. Like, this guy said some absolutely absurd thing that he did, and like, I would understand it. Like, yeah, if you're sincere and you like moved on from this thing. But it's kind of crazy to like say that on a panel. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You're just gonna have to see it. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was on Jack Talcott's panel, right? And this lady who's like pretty much an actor, right? Like she walked up on Landry's show and she goes, "Hey, I could send you nudes, and then you could try to exploit the nudes, right? Like they wanted to do this bit that they did on the Flow State show, right? About like exploiting these nudes that she would send him, and then they'd make a drama LARP about it online.
That sounds about their level of consciousness, bro. Blessing.
Yeah. So I forget what I was gonna say about her, but what did you just say on scene? You were just talking about a highly specific thing I was gonna comment on. Shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm frazzled. I feel like I got hit with an energy weapon, honestly.
They're doing that.
I'm frazzled, bro. Like, but yeah, what were you just talking about on scene? Shit, bro. Like, it just slipped my mind real quick. Yeah, I think he just stepped away and shit. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna send it to you. Send you a message privately, but it's this guy.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, this fucking lady walks up on Jack Talcott's panel and goes, "My dad got drunk and tried to have sex with me."
What the fuck?
Yeah, and
sounds about right.
And Joe Cool on the panel is like, maybe you shouldn't have said that on a panel.
Right.
It's really weird.
Well,
like thing to bring up.
Remember that dude, the Dowd I was telling you about? Apparently he gave his 6-year-old daughter alcohol, bro. So there's a lot of things about this guy that is fucking strange. And that's why I personally think that the accusation is true, man. But I'm not going to get into all that. But there is a reason why I said that I think it was strange. It wasn't just that.
Yeah, but just that video of Illumidummy, right? So the video he posted about Illumidummy, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know that guy. No, I don't know anything about him.
Well,
Right? But I do know.
they're all connected with Cicada and
Yeah, they're connected to Schoenberg.
you and
yeah.
Right. He's the real problem.
Well,
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't know any of these guys. But I just noticed like the brunt of the online activity seems to be highly directed towards like LARP activities. Right? So it's just it just like from like when I understand like when I communicate with somebody online, right? Like my whole deal is like, is this an authentic person? You know what I mean, right? So that's the
Right.
main thing.
No.
That's the main thing I'm looking at, right? Because I'm trying to talk to people who are, to my mind, like maybe authentic, right? So this is the thing is like,
Okay, this is the video. I found it.
all right, so put it in the private and then I'll share it because I'm sharing the screen. So,
well, I sent it to you, in your.
but where?
Discord or whatever. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go there then. Give me 1 second.
So, in your, like a private message to you, but I mean, I believe that's it because that's the title, and like I'm looking at the comments and that's what they say. I haven't looked through the.
All right. So which one of these is it? The first one or the second one? All right, I'll just play the second one. Well, I don't know. What am I looking at here? It's a 6-hour show. So where do you want me to go to unseen? Okay, this one's 7 minutes long. All right, I'll just go ahead and play this one.
His mother become 18 and then give birth to himself. I leave the answer to this
What? What the fuck?
question to you on all
what's he babbling about?
this video.
What am I looking at here?
And how your God got his 12 years old mother pregnant. Why?
Wait.
What the fuck? What the hell?
Wait. Did he establish that Mary became pregnant at 12?
No, and we already said that he didn't establish that. He's just making it up.
Hey, Saif, is it okay in your religion to make stuff up about Mary?
Yes.
Right.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused what I'm looking at Unseen Warfare. I'll just wait for him to come back because I have no idea.
No, I'm back. I don't know. See, what's supposed to be in this video that I've sent you is this.
Oh fuck! I accidentally unshared the screen. Fuck.
No, you're good. You're good. So what?
No, it's just that he has
I got you.
Screen shares. Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
got you. I got you.
Yeah, okay. Give me a second.
So what the timestamp I'm looking for is this guy D Wood starts like going into like how he like there's like people like bringing it up like they gets exposed for this, and like went to prison for some really strange things, and like he's all about it, kind of like like yeah, I was a really bad guy in my past or something like that.
I'm different now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was crazy what he was saying. Like, I couldn't even believe what he was saying, dude. And I thought that was the video, so that's my intent.
You're talking about Sam Shamoon?
No, I'm talking about D Wood. So the white guy next to Apostate Prophet.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Oh,
So he said he went to prison for doing a bunch of stuff
with young girls, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's a lot of these people, dude. That's what I'm trying to say. And
Like,
some of them actually have records.
He's one of them.
The LARP is to cover this shit. Like, what better way to cover
That's
your shit?
weird, bro. Look, I never heard that about David Wood, but yeah, if you have that video, I'd love to see it because that is very pertinent information.
The optics are very high right now, Goy. You know that.
Neurojack, smoking neuro crack. How you doing, buddy? In Southern California. Give your rabbi my blessings.
So you guys want to listen to a little Plato's Republic?
Yeah, I got that too. But I think Unseen's looking for a video or some shit.
Yeah, sorry, I was in a room with like a bunch of women talking super loud, so I missed part of you guys' conversation. It's like, oh my god. Like, oh my god.
Well, there he goes.
Cut and run. He's cutting and running. Maybe his mic's messing up. I feel like I can't hear everybody clearly or something. But that would be very interesting because I think apostate Poopit he does a full-time show with D Wood, right?
Yeah,
And
he
he's
does.
supposed to be like this shiny.
Yeah, he's a weird
example.
dude. No,
They're
he's a
both
weird
very
dude.
creepy. I can tell you, they're both very
Yeah.
creepy. I don't know anything about them
For
other
sure.
than that. I mean, yeah.
He's a weird dude. And Sam Shimon, too, is a very strange dude.
Well, what's really interesting is that a lot of the Christians that were once like talking about how great Sam Shamoon was, all of a sudden just like a whole sector of them just turned on him like all at once and like pretended that they always hated this guy or something. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty weird.
Right.
Right.
I've never really watched Sam Shamoon. I just saw him say like the N word and some other like funny
Right.
things, and I thought it was funny. But other than that, like I don't know much about him. He's never
Yeah,
really.
well-
He was never interesting to me, really. But other than saying some naughty words on the internet was kind of funny. But other than that, it's like it's all I know.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's about the depth of his knowledge base.
Well, that would make sense. Hopefully, Unseen will come back because I wanted to get his take on the Plato's Republic and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that might be like a full time like show or something. But I got a feeling it'll be hard to get like deep into that. But I was watching this last night before I went to sleep, and holy shit, man! Like you start looking at the Plato's Republic, and it's like so much of like the rhetoric that people do. It's like a really, 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 really bad version of the Plato's Republic, where it's like it's not even intended, but it's like the same. It's like the same debate has happened for 2,000 years, and nobody's ever like just quoted Plato's, because I've never read it really, but I've definitely read like parts of it here and there. But I can see why people like nobody ever wants to go back to that source material because it's so much smarter than like anything else you read
Right.
or about like ethics or something now. Because if you just read that versus like what everybody's trying to make up off the top of their head about ethics, it's like
Right.
it's so much more retarded than than that shit. So I don't know, but it's just interesting because I think a lot of it overlaps with like Christianity, a lot of it overlaps probably with Islam, a lot of it overlaps with Judaism or whatever.
Uh-oh. Careful.
Probably,
you're going to piss some people off, white man.
no, frankly, I think a lot of it overlaps with your Luciferianism as well, so that's why I wanted to
Whoa!
bring it out there. Uh-oh.
I would agree with you, actually.
Uh-oh.
There was some influences on both sides, for sure. There was the Pythagorean Illuminati. which is no relation to the Bavarian Illuminati.
Nerd alert!
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Nerds!
most definitely. It's only one side of my personality, but most definitely, I am a nerd. Yes.
Yeah, I've read like all of it. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely have it. So, well, but it's funny because you're one of the only people I've actually heard bring it up like multiple times. And
Yeah.
it's very remarkable that nobody's ever wanted to engage you on that. So,
Well, yeah.
like
Of course not.
yeah, I'm not saying that against any of the people here. I'm saying like you brought it up on like giant panels where people were like obviously referring to that material in some sense, and they're like they don't want to engage you on their interpretation.
Because
that's like they don't know where the ideas. Yeah, like they don't know where the ideas they're mentioning came from.
They label read. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what I mean. They read like a snippet, a paragraph or two, or they read something on social media and they think they have like an idea of it. But if you would actually ask them, they have no fucking clue.
well, like if you listen to Socrates, like the guy who did that video, he's basically
Muhammad is like one of the last living philosophers for real.
Well, it's just funny because like, and we can jump into it if you want, but I'll give like a brief overview of what I heard the guy talking about. He said like basically you have like Socrates and he's out there walking around with like one of his brothers and with another guy, and then they're kind of talking about like, well, what does it mean to be good, or what does it mean to have justice? And they're all kind of going back and forth. And Socrates doesn't really give an exact answer. He's kind of trolling, and it just reminds me of why I love Socrates so much. But he's like he's kind of like trolling them. He's kind of like, so what does that mean exactly? And so they all give different definitions, and then this other dude comes up and basically like makes like the might is right argument, and he's like, well, if that's the case, then and he just starts trolling them harder, and the guy gets pissed off and runs off. And then another brother comes and starts like saying, well, I think it means this, and whatever gives me the most resources. And then they go and like define like intrinsic goods and like I can't remember all the other ones, but it's like instrumental good, intrinsic good, and then like personal good or something like that. So it's like, and it just and then he finally gives a definition that like justice is like everybody kind of doing what's best for themselves and a part of a whole or something like that. But it's just interesting because like, and then by the end of it, he kind of like, they go into like, what's a good city? And he says like, basically like, you don't really need much. It's like a city could basically be like, like you just have like a farm and a place to sleep and, a wife and some kids, and you feed them and you just kind of like go about your day, and that most people would be pretty happy with that. And then immediately everybody starts saying, well, what about this? I need this, and I want music, and I want this.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, and he just kind of goes with their definition of like what good is, and then he just lets them all like destroy themselves essentially and say, but he doesn't tell them that they're wrong. He just lets them keep going, and it's like, okay. So I don't know. I just think that's really interesting because if you really listen to what's being said, it's like so much of what we hear in common language about like justice is basically like all the bad arguments that were completely eviscerated by Socrates in this thing. So I don't know. I just think it's really funny.
So what you're saying
like
is the more we change, the more we stay the same.
Yeah, for sure. And also like people perish for lack of knowledge, for sure. It's like it's like here's this really bad argument from like 2000 something years ago. Let me just reiterate it. And then you refer to them back to it, like, go read this, and they're like, yeah, but I still want this thing that doesn't make any sense. And it's like, okay.
Right.
It's like
people chase after pleasures they do not understand. They seek after. This is like where Buddhism comes in, like the original understanding of what Buddhism was when it says life is suffering. It's not like life inherently is suffering. It's that people chase after things that they don't need to fill holes that don't exist. and chasing after more and more and filling themselves more and more. They instead of like actually filling the hole, they make it wider. You know? So you're feeding emptiness with more emptiness. And there's no way
so this is actually a thing. So Unseen sent me 2 sources. It says Christian apologist David Wood confesses he raped girls. 2 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is insane.
He's saved now. Oh, it's okay.
And then
well,
here's
what I don't understand is like, why even if that happened, like, why would you go on camera and like say that open? Like, I don't understand that.
Because Jesus washed. And some Christians believe
he also said like when he was a kid, he like smashed his dad's head with a hammer.
What?
Yeah.
It's okay. He has
got like
into his heart. That's fucking crazy.
Involving Apus, Sam Shamoon, David Wood, God Logic, Inspiring Philosophy. Basically, everyone in Christian apologetics is involved in this civil war. And it's like a complete meltdown. It's a complete implosion.
Inspiring Philosophy is annoying as fuck.
Self-inflicted, I might add. Self-inflicted implosion.
This is 2 weeks ago. Shit. So this just happened.
Did you hear about what happened? Yeah. Yet from him?
No, I have not heard any of this yet. So this is 2 weeks ago. So yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. You know what's
These
crazy?
people are nuts.
I watched it on a live stream, dude. Like it was just like I don't know how I ended up on it, right? But I was like watching the live stream between these 2 guys. I think it was probably mainly like seeing what like Apostate Prophet was saying because this guy's a known Zionist and he's
he recently converted to Orthodox Christianity or whatever, the Rokor thing or whatever, and
right.
So he's a crypto.
He's still pushing Zionism, and no one can tell him.
So he's a crypto.
Pretty much. But masking himself in the church.
Right. Yeah.
Try to pull the church towards Zionist beliefs.
Right.
But that's really it. I see. But this other David Woods guy was admitting some absolute crazy things, dude. I could not believe this guy was saying this stuff. It's like, what?
That's nuts, dude.
But Apostate Prophet's sitting there like with like a noose in his hand, and he's like moving it around.
Dude, it's weird, man.
Isn't that weird, dude?
It's really weird, bro. I don't even like fuck with these types of people, but I know about him just because he's that weird. Yeah, that dude should like be checked out. Like he needs a background check. Like I'm surprised he doesn't like hurt animals or something. You know what I mean? Like he's just weird, bro. Yeah, he's like chief musician of Mystery Babylon type vibes.
Yeah, that.
They always have fucking discords with kids and shit, bro. Like it's disturbing.
Dude, that's usually like my limit. I don't even want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So bad, dude. But
that's what it is, Unseen. That's what it is, bro. That's the
there's a whole lot of these people, man, out here, and like
there are.
Imagine getting out of prison and then like going and go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like a talking head for like Zionism or something. It's like you think Russia's paying a guy like David Wood?
Bro, it could very well be.
Someone's paying the dude, man.
For sure.
And these are like the type of people like. There's a lot of people that follow a guy like that too, man. Like a lot.
Well, look how many people love Putin, bro. Have no idea what his history is. No idea.
Yeah, I've been trying to.
I don't know his history. What wrong with Putin?
Oh, well, he poisoned.
You're joking, right?
He poisoned the guy with some crazy chemical, and he's like bald and like in a sick bed for the rest of his life. I think he might have died.
He's like Chabad too, bro.
He'd be well.
And so is Dugan. He's Dugan, right? Yeah, and he's Dugan's like mouthpiece. Everything he says is like from Dugan, And Dugan actually did like an interview basically talking about like openly. And Dugan is Chabad too. And Chabad is
I got photographs of Putin with Chabad. I got photographs of him like doing a handshake with Rothschild, having private meetings with Netanyahu. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude, what's going on, man?
You heard what Netanyahu said about Epstein?
No.
He said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, Epstein worked for us, so what?
No way.
They can't. That's why they can't release the Epstein files, bro. I'm not. You can't make this shit up. That's why they can't release the Epstein files, because it's under fucking the authority of Israel.
Right.
Israel blackmailed the entire fucking country, bro.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah,
Netanyahu said it.
He's like, yeah, do some shit. He's like, yeah, do some shit, and what?
What you gonna do? Catch me outside. Catch me outside.
Bro, he called America the golden calf, and he said that he cut it up as many times as he needs to.
I direct America where it needs to go. You know, I direct it. I make sure the American people pay the debts.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Israel.
Where's this Shabbos play?
Bow to the Israelis.
Yeah.
Hey man, you
gonna bow to the Israeli and like it, boy.
Hey man, you don't want to hold them up on thrones. You know, I don't know. There's that book by Hoffman. He says that the Jays or whatever think they should only work 1 day a week, while the Gentiles work every day of the week to support the J.
Yes.
Slave boy.
Yeah, they don't believe in work.
Now. Well, you know, in the whole Federal Reserve System, it's controlled. They've made it up based on the Kabbalah, from what I heard. This whole thing is Kabbalistico. I looked at lo Kabbalistico. They're doing some ritual magic with the money machine, man. That's why I think in the scriptures it talks about King Solomon getting his 666 talents of gold, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And you know, another, you know, they broke it down. 666 means Titan. Think about that. You got all these tech titans out here. They use that word Titan. And what is a Titan? It's like an infrastructure. You know what I mean? A Titan can be a giant.
You just mad because you ain't no Titan like us, man. That's your problem. You just jealous.
You know, that's what the big problem with Goliath was. He was stealing resources, man. And
look, man, don't talk shit about my
anti-Semitism.
Don't talk shit about
anti-Semitism is outrageous.
Don't talk shit about P. Diddy. Don't talk shit about P. Diddy just because you ain't got no baby oil.
Hey, yeah. Man, so David cut the head off Goliath, Bo. He did that, right? And you know why he did that, man? Because that old boy right there was taking all his bread, dog, and enslaving his people, dog. Having them working for him, dog. Just like these corporations do, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Goliath was a son of a bitch.
Goliath was a corporation.
Right.
Titan is just getting set up. It's gonna make them boys put the marks on their beasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel you.
No, it's true. You probably gonna get 666 right on your forehead, dog. That's the truth.
Nah.
You're gonna be like, "What's up, dude? What are you gonna be like? What's up, dude? What are you talking about? I didn't take the mark of the beast. I didn't take that. What are you talking about?"
That's the
Have it right
Edom
on your
number.
forehead.
Nah.
Exactly. That's what you're
Nah.
gonna say. You're gonna be like, "Nah, I didn't do that." I'm be like, "Yo, he did. See?" And then I'm gonna
I ain't getting
slam dunk
smart,
on
bro.
you with a Christian. I'm gonna slam dunk on you with some theology, bro. And be like, "Look, you accepted the mark of the beast. Boom, slam dunk.
I
Told you, dude."
ain't smart, bro.
Yes, you are, dude. No, fucking, better not. That ain't gonna be good.
Nah, bro.
What if they came to your house and was like, "Look, dude,
I don't get down like
you
that.
cannot buy gasoline. You cannot go to the store. You
I
cannot
know.
buy food." You're gonna say
That's
nah.
okay.
You gonna say
Nah.
no?
I'm gonna say nah.
Uh-uh.
They can kill me, bro. It ain't happening.
Dude, I bet you're gonna get the mark of the beast and start twerking for him. That's how into it you're gonna be.
Nah, bro. Nah. Death before dishonor.
No, I do believe that though. I kind of seen it happen in real time before. I think I
Well,
seen
I mean, if they have
title
the
it
Noahide
recently.
laws, it's definitely going to happen. If they have the Noahide laws,
Do you think that we Christians are slaves to the Noahide laws?
I know
I
you
mean, if they
is.
have their way, we all will be.
Neurojack
If
is
you don't
full
worship
on
Hashem,
Noahide, Lyle.
if you don't worship Hashem and you worship an idol, and they consider Jesus an idol, then yeah,
Oh, you must
you're
worship Hashem. Worship
yep,
the great architect of the universe in the future.
right,
Me and my sage
yeah,
brothers,
man,
we see Aleph separates Mim from Shin. These are Hebrew letters. And this means
right,
air
yeah,
separates, water from fire. But backwards it
yep,
means water separates air from fire. And when you take out a sword, that's your sheath. And when you sin, it's your some other word.
Well, that's
And
just
then
logical. I mean, do you have a better argument?
yes, dude, yes.
right.
You know what? The world is a vampire. You know what I mean?
I'm
Right.
sold. I'm sold on that one.
Yeah, I bet you would be sold on that one. You're gonna sell that soul and get that 666 on your forehead if you don't realize the world is a vampire.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that bitches better recognize?
True, true.
No, it's a good song.
No, you got to say it like he says it. I suppose. He says it all like weird like that.
Hey,
No,
but you know what is
that's
cool?
terrible,
Which
man.
one's the song where like he uses the feedback in between the song? You know what I'm talking about?
Spite on my rage, I'm still
No,
just
it's
riding.
mayonnaise. That's what it is. That song mayonnaise. That song
That's my shit.
mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It's a good song. And
That's
That's a good
yeah.
song, bro.
You white boy crackers would be into some shit that said mayonnaise on it.
yeah.
That's a good song, bro. That's a good song.
You crackers be loving that mayonnaise.
Hey, man,
Them smashing pumpkins.
you have a perverted retribute mind, okay? I'm gonna pray for you.
Exactly, man. What's wrong with mayonnaise? Dave Chappelle. What was that? Undercover Brother? That movie will ruin mayonnaise for a man. It will, dude.
How
Right.
about that? How about that Larry the Cable Guy joke? Let me teach you this redneck version of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise a lot of crazy people up in some bitch.
Larry the fucking Cable. My grandfather, he's gone. He liked Larry the Cable Guy. Oh shit. That brings back
I
memory.
was out in the
Larry
garden
the
eating maters. There.
well, legit, Larry the Cable Guy might have
That's
been a
funny right
CIA.
there. I don't care who you are.
Yep. See, there you go. Right there's your sign. Oh,
There's
wrong
your sign. So
redneck.
I was out there in the garden eating maters the other day, and Jim Bob, Bill Bob. That's how them folk be. Like to
Meemaw
know his limits.
peepaw.
Hey man, I had a Meemaw. You
I
talk
was
about my
drunk
Meemaw, dog.
in
Talk about my Meemaw.
a bar. I was thrown into public. I want to be drunk in a bar. Wrong way. Oh shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a trip, man. That's a deep cut there. I was wearing you know what kind of shoes I was wearing at that time when I was watching that type of stuff, man? With family. I was wearing Airwalks, bro. Had some big puffy Airwalks. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right. You out there wearing the Walmart hunting boots.
You wish, dude. I had 100 pair of
Bobo.
Etnies, bro.
Bobo
No, they were
represent, bro.
Etnies. They were Etnies,
You got them
dude. What
bobos
you know
on.
about Etnies?
You ain't got
You
them
can't even get no Etnies.
Bobo. About 70.
Yeah. Honestly, like that was some of my funniest parts of school is like watching black people clown on people, telling them they have bobos on their feet. Man, you got them bobos on your feet, man. What the fuck is you wearing?
Yeah, and they're the ones wearing like fake chains and shit. Hoping you didn't notice.
Hey, dude, you know they were probably calling out your bobos, bro. That's why you're mad about it, right?
Shit, I wore my bobos proud.
Yeah, sir. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
I played
Hey, man, you wanna
double
know what's
dutch. I
crazy?
played double dutch hopscotch with the rest of them.
I was in
Yeah, sir.
like a horticulture building. You know what I'm talking about? Where you like grow plants and stuff, and literally, like two dudes in my class that were like lived in my same neighborhood. It was like two lefties, but they grew a weed plant in the greenhouse, dog. They had their like weed plant in the back of the greenhouse. That's crazy. During the whole school year, like, nuts.
Teacher's gonna go take their little portion over there.
Well, you know what it was, how they could do that? So this particular class, right? Since it's the last class at the end of the day, it's like, fifth period or whatever it was. You know what I mean? I think that's what it was called in high school. And like, they always had a substitute teacher from this class. Like, they never had a steady person. So like every other day, like every 2 days or every 3 days, they would just get a new substitute. And someday it would be like a new substitute every single day. You know what I mean? Like there was never a like solid teacher. So I used to skip to go to that class. I would skip my computer class and then go to that class because I had like a girlfriend in there. You know what I mean? But no one ever noticed. You could just like the kid that doesn't go to school. Oh, the kid that doesn't go to school. I had a friend that didn't go to school. He had that class, and I just said I was him. And there was a substitute always there, so they never knew. But yeah,
Did you
that's
guys
how those
put
guys grew a weed plant at school.
Did you guys put a hand over your heart when you had to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
I was
I
a
bet
red-blooded American.
kids nowadays, man, they gotta sing the Soviet anthem when they go to, you know what I mean, or something.
No, they got to sing the transgender anthem.
Oh,
Proud to cut my genitals off right here in the USA. Going to
Ain't
cut
nothing
off
wrong
ding-a-ling.
in being gay.
Oh, you guys are laughing at people's misfortune.
Oh, those poor human beings. But I mean, truly it is because it's demonic delusion for one, but at the same time, it's quite the goofiest one. I mean, this is the last one I'd fall for. So, hard to be a little too sympathetic to their cause. But if you're not, they got a gang, dude.
Well, what about sympathetic, as in SIMPATH something, or I can't spell too good because I
I
grew
don't
up
know.
down there with
ETIC.
Larry, the cable guy, didn't teach me how to read on TV, so I forgot.
Right. You just sound the words out.
Oh, you guys are hearing the ticking of the doomsday clock right now.
I like to speed read phonetically. I like this guy's face on the screen. Is that Habib? Is that Habib?
That's Pikachu, dude.
You fucking motherfucking big.
It's Habibi Jew.
I just call it Pikachu, dude.
Habibi Jew.
What the fuck is that expression? What intonation is that expression on his face, though?
17
What intonation?
Habibi Jews, man.
That would be
Madame
hilarious
Habibi.
if we meme that into like somebody actually calling him that on fucking a panel. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that might be a good meme. The Jew is my Habibi, and then they just have like
a picture of Habibi Jew.
a picture of a Habibi Jew, a Jewish Habibi.
Oh no, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, by the way, it's funny is like remember we were on Westford's show and he had that Nadeem guy and he kept calling you Habibi and stuff, and Unseen had a run-in with Westford and this guy named Buck Johnson.
Oh God.
Yeah, too bad this YouTube town ain't big enough for the both of us, Buck Johnson.
Yeah, that sounds like what Buck Johnson would represent.
No, it's funny because
Sounds like a effeminate porn star or some shit, bro.
it does sound like a porn name, like my name's Buck Johnson. You ready to get
or
down?
like a trans, I don't know, bro.
No, there is a trans person named Buck too. So there's like a trans porn star named, and it's like a male. It's like a female to male. So it's like a woman that's like.
It's like
imagine like this woman that took steroids for like 30 years. That's what she looks like. Buck Angel.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like a cowboy transgender.
Well, but it's funny because me and Machine had interacted with Westford, and he's a strange character. But Unseen called Unseen. Do you want to convey with that experience you had, because that was actually really weird and funny.
So what happened was they were like having a conversation about the New World Order or whatever on their show, and they're like, yeah, but all this crazy stuff's going on in the world with the New World Order, but at least we have the church. Like we're safe from all that. The New World Order can't touch us as long as we're in the church. And then I go and see in the comment section, I was like, well, what if the hierarchy goes along with the agenda? And so their reaction was to be like, aren't you a true Orthodox schismatic? Get out of here. And then the guy said, what did he say? He was like, would you say you were leaving? Anathema. God bless you. That's what he said. But yeah, the whole point I'm telling this story is because these guys like to delude themselves and say, like, the New World Order's out there and we're the last, defense against the New World Order.
Right.
All the while, their hierarchy is like the New World Order.
Right. Yeah. They're all spies. survivors.
Yeah, this dude made a video about Shahid Bolson. You guys know about Shahid Bolson?
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like
No.
It's like a weird dude online for sure, but yeah.
And even I'm shocked by how disgusting these people actually are, and the things that they're revealing about each other. So you might have thought that these people were just complete reprobates, degenerates, completely dysfunctional, just by looking at them and seeing how they talk and how they act. But over the past few weeks, the things that have come out about their personal lives is just, hard to even wrap your minds around. And the fact that they're just airing all of this dirty laundry and exposing themselves. And some of it reaches the level of criminality. They are actually admitting to committing crimes. This is very serious. This is very serious. And there could be criminal charges brought against them for what they are actually admitting to. And so and I don't think that they even realize how serious what they are talking about and what they are admitting to on live streams to be watched by tens of thousands of people. They don't realize how serious what they're admitting to actually is, because we're talking about sex abuse crimes. Abuse crimes. And they're just admitting to it like, oh, this is a joke. This is something funny. And we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you their admissions. And it's just so much material that I can't even contain it in one episode or two episodes.
What?
This is the second or third episode that we're talking about this. We've been talking about Apus basically cheating on his wife cheating.
They've already forfeited their soul.
The implosion of their marriage.
Whoa.
They've already forfeited their soul, even from my heathen perspective. Like, for real.
Yeah, that's some like.
And this shit is way more common than you think, bro.
Like, I'll take a spider out of the house, and, like, not kill that.
Right.
But I'll definitely.
Right, exactly.
Like these people should be stoned to death at the very least.
Exactly. Bro, you know what? In this case, I fucking agree with you, man. In this case, I agree with you. Like, I think that public.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, just saying that for YouTube purposes, I don't think that.
Right. Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, in a perfect world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think for crimes against children, like, we should bring back, like, public,
Yeah,
that's as a thought experiment. As a thought experiment, Right, exactly, Unseen. Like, I'm a very peaceful person. But when you attack people, that are literally harmless or animals and shit, like, there's something fucking wrong with you, dude.
Yeah, like
you're not fully human anymore.
Yeah, like, let's say they tried a few times and then assess the psychological value of that as a deterrent. I think it would be effective for it. So yeah,
we need street justice for that type of shit, man. Like, fuck the courts, dude. Like, the community just gets together and decides what they want to do. Like, I think that's what it should be. and these Epsteins and people like that would disappear real fucking quick.
Hypothetically, allegedly, yeah.
I think that's it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. This is all for entertainment purposes only, and a thought experiment. Yeah. Most definitely.
And the kind of accusations that have been going back and forth, and Apus's involvement with Jewesses in Israel, that kind of material, we've been covering it.
What a shock!
But
I like how he said that.
You already allegedly know like the conspiracy theories about Israel being like
Yeah, like
a haven for that type of thing. You know,
boy, like you embroiled with Jewesses, boy. Like, like you might as well get on a broomstick and fly away. Like, what's going on?
yeah, like if you get in trouble, like allegedly speaking, you can go to Israel and like pretty much, you know, everything gets kind of tucked away.
Yeah, you just drop a little seat off there, just like for insurance.
Yeah, you just went with the wall a few times.
I got an
and, like, everything
insurance
just kind of
child in.
disappears.
Yeah, I got an insurance child in Israel with my Jewess, so you know that's my insurance, just in case shit gets heavy. All right, we could all run away, rage quit. That's the ultimate rage quit.
Right. Well, we've talked about this privately, Muhammad, so you know how I feel about it, man. And we agree on that. Like, it's just, yeah.
Whoa, what's this, bro? There's there's another video right next to it that says Rabbi Tovia Singer, stop blessing Satan and devils. Yeah, I could definitely save that
Dude,
one.
He gives me a run for my money in being satanic. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I know.
That dude is fucking crazy, bro.
I don't think that's wine. Yeah, I don't think that's wine in his glass. Let's just put it that way.
The way he twists shit, bro. Yeah, man. And what did he do to Gnostic Informant? We were talking about that. Like, he calls him like sweetie and shit.
Yeah, he called
like,
him
bro,
sweetie and shit.
What the fuck, bro? The shit is disturbing to the max. Ugh.
Yeah, the Gnostic is a sweetie. He's got the Gnostic on a little dog chain.
There's some straight dirt on Singer too. Like I've looked into that once or twice. Like there's some crazy
Bro.
shit he's done.
Tobia
wasn't he,
is
like
fuck-
part of like some
sick puppy, dude.
He's like half like Christians for Israel. Like he was doing that whole movement, right?
Yeah.
And then he got caught up with some weirdness, bro, and then moved to Israel or something, man. Like something happened like that, dude, with him. So.
Yep. Him and Justin Sledge was like part of like the satanic panic and shit. And he's like, oh, anti-Semitism.
Oh no,
part of
you're anti-Semitic if you don't agree with our Lord Clip of Kabbalah, or whatever.
Right. No, exactly.
We're summoning straight Satan right now, dog. And we're gonna make a tornado go through your house if you don't comply. But dude.
Right. You heard about that, yeah. Shit's crazy.
Homie made a tome, sent it to a dude's house. A tornado took out his like shed when the book showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these people are dark, man.
Yeah, well, and they're like close, like home. That dude, Restoration of the Breach. He's like associated with Tovia Singer, and so
yeah, I know.
Which tripped me out. So I was like, oh, so these are hardcore Kabbalistic dudes. Like they're like at the high, like they're having contact with, because that's pretty much like, their geopolitical guy. That's the Zionist geopolitical guy or something, right? Like, would you say that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. He's definitely a high-level Mason, and you already know that Jura is too. He took down his video, by the way, at the Masonic Lodge. I think people were calling him out on it.
Man. I know.
Yeah.
I seen that. I think he posted like 4 years ago. And when I first seen it, he's breaking down the Kabbalah to a Masonic lodge, and I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. And like, he was so open with it. I never thought he would take that down off his channel. I just did it. Because if I did, I should have made a recording of that, because that's straight up evidence.
I know
that we have a guy in a Masonic temple teaching the Kabbalah. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, because they try to distance themselves from it, but it's absolutely 1,000%. Like there is no Freemasonry.
He panicked when I brought it up, because we had a private conversation. I was like, I seen that video of you in that Masonic temple teaching the Kabbalah, and he was like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
the whole vibe shifted, and it was like, huh, oh, he had a really weird. But then I got him to talk a little bit, and he started talking about like the Templars and
Uh,
Jacques de Molay and like all this stuff, and it was like, oh, okay, so
yeah.
and he's like, he said he was a Templar, so I was like, I have no reason
Yeah.
not to believe the guy because the guy had endless scrolls and I'll take,
Oh
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, he's the
Yeah,
real deal for sure. He's
I
definitely
trust
not a
him.
lark. No, he's definitely not a lark, dude. You watch his videos now, and like his opening intro video is his Elon. That's what it's called, which basically shows that you're a master of the Kabbalah, and it's fucking endless, dude. Just like all this fucking like knowledge on the Kabbalah.
But he's selling
I
like his books for $900 a piece, $600 a piece. There's like, I know because I was like, I got kind of behind the scenes a little bit, and there's like some important people that are talking to this guy about the
yes.
Kabbalah and
Oh
studying
yeah,
with him. And like they think he's Jesus, dude. You know what I mean? Like
they
they
do.
think this guy's
They do.
Jesus. You know,
You should see his girlfriend, dude. She's completely hypnotized and
whatever,
brainwashed.
what, yeah. So how did So we're seeing like witches and like straight up warlocks
For
doing
sure.
videos on at like high level witchcraft, like King Solomon witchcraft, dog. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's
No, it's
lit,
true.
dude. And
No,
I
it's
was like
true.
tripped on that, man. And then uh, openly admitting this is what the Templars do. And I mean, he didn't,
Yeah.
I guess, break his oath, like, but he broke his oath in a lot of ways because I'm receptive. I know what you're saying, dude.
Yeah,
And
who
I
are you
probably
guys
should
talking
look.
about?
Restoration of the breach. Somebody that
Okay.
me and Unseen happen both
Yeah,
to know.
Neurojack's. Yeah, Neurojack's asking here in the chat. So
Yeah.
But that's how I kind of like caught on that what the Talmud teaches is like what this one world utopian system, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like
literally the
Israel
inverse of
is
everything that Jesus taught.
right. And it's like he's talking
It's
about
what
peace on
Jesus called the
earth.
wisdom. It's what Jesus called the wisdom of the elders. And that's why he called them sons of hell. And
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the trip on it is like,
Yeah.
this guy in the book of Revelation, it says like the Antichrist will be a man of peace. And then this guy
Right.
is talking about spreading world peace. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's the Antichrist or something, but I think that he is an archetype of what the Antichrist spirit does to a man, you know?
Oh
That's
yeah.
the archetypal development of the spirit in it's almost like Satan tries to incarnate a man in a lot of ways, and that's a strange concept, but you know.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think a lot of people think the New World Order is going to be, like depopulation and, people in FEMA camps and all that. And that might come later. But I honestly believe the New World Order is going to appear like the best thing since fucking sliced bread. And people are going to want to line up and join, like in droves. Like they're going to be like
Hey,
tripping over themselves like it's a concert.
all right, so
Because
in
they're going to promise
2020,
them eternal life and they're going to
right?
promise them eternal life and fucking like superpowers and you know what I mean. Like it's going to be very seductive. That's my take. That's just what my spirit tells me. Like I've always felt that since I was a kid, man.
You know what it was? It was 2018. So listen to what happened to me in 2018. So like, I got accused of a crime I didn't commit, right? Like it was like I was driving a truck and like some people went into a Walmart and kind of stole some stuff, but I didn't know that they were stealing. Straight up, like I was just driving
Right.
this car, and like they got in the car and they had some stolen goods or whatever on them, and like they locked me up in Virginia because of this. So I went to jail and like they held me for like 56 days or whatever, and then I went to
Right.
court. And like they came to the conclusion, like, oh, this guy didn't have anything to do with it. Like he's not on camera doing anything. We can't prove like he was in on it or something. Like You know what I mean? He seems oblivious. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how it went, and they just kind of like let me out with 56 good days, which would mean like time served, and like if I ever, I don't know, it's a complex thing in Virginia. But anyways, so when I got out, like I sort of just like went on this journey because I was like locked up for 56 days waiting for this court date, and I was on a trip,
Fuck.
so no one could get me out. No one knew where I was. You know what I mean? I didn't have anything, man. So
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I get out and like I'm like going through the woods at this a certain point, and I was just like, that's how I am. I grew up in the country, right? So I'm
Right.
like going through these woods, dude, and I found Stonewall Jackson's grave, okay, like where the you know his own soldiers like from North Carolina shot him or something. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
Virginia regiment and the North Carolina regiment didn't like, you know, it's like a friendly fire kind of thing. That's what it says. And then they move this giant boulder out in the middle of the woods where he was shot. And I found that boulder, right? So what just happened? So happens that a museum was really close to that, and there's like this like, you know, like a Civil War museum, and like I watched a movie at it and stuff. It was kind of interesting. It's like, well, so but anyways, when I left there, there was like this house out in the woods, right? It was like all blacked out, like painted everything black. There was like straight up black, like over this gate, like a fence with like nothing but like a black tarp over it. And there was this like barn, and it just had nothing but coffins stacked to the top, like black coffins.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Who knows, man?
But anyways, like a couple years later, people just started dropping dead, dude. Weird, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Huh. That could be a few things.
Them FEMA boys.
I mean, that's not impossible.
I don't know, man.
They've already
Why?
they've already expanded the FEMA shit. Like, it's way worse than that. I'm not saying that's not like part of their plan, but I think there's like infighting, honestly. You know, uh everybody thinks like it's all like one plan. And I mean, I think ultimately they have the same goals, but there is kind of like an infighting on who's at the top and also like how they're going to do it. And I think there's some people that like want to do it like boot to the face, you know, like uh
Trying to Trotsky you.
right, yeah, like that style, like active measures, you know.
Right.
You know, I can't remember his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. Um, you know, talked about, and then there's like the very slow drip, you know, technological
Right.
imprisonment.
Like the Frankfurt School style kind of thing.
Right.
Like we're gonna do it
Yeah.
more through subliminally through you know, stochastic means or something.
Yeah, like the Aldous Huxley, like, you know, tyranny without tears type deal, where it's like we'll make them love their servitude. Well, they'll have no freedom, but they'll love it, you know.
Yeah. Well, Adorno
Like,
too, man. You know, Adorno's whole trip, and it's like he's the guy, you know, the psychologist of the oligarch. You know what I mean? He's like the
right.
Rhodes Scholar, you know,
Yes.
psychologist. That's like, how do we induce schizophrenia on the population through music?
Well, that they're working. I have a documentary called Synthetic Schizophrenia. It's like 4 hours long. I could never put it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
I could share it. Yeah, bro. About how they legitimately, check this out, Unseen. They can sequence someone's DNA. Okay? Try to follow me on this. They can sequence someone's DNA, okay, in a fucking supercomputer and get it to where, you know, how they have targeted individuals, right? Well, this takes the shit to a whole new level. Okay? And then they can use the information from their DNA to apply certain targeted fucking audio and visual that only they can see, and legitimately drive them fucking insane, to where
Like,
they're seeing and hearing things that are not there,
right,
and
right.
it appears like
You're
it's
talking about
coming from
voice
their own mind.
control type stuff, man? Like
Yes,
V2K or
but it's
whatever?
advanced though. Yes,
Okay.
visual and auditory stimulus.
Oh, so how? Like nanos? What?
Yeah, they
Oh.
just sequence your fucking
Yeah, I'll be right
DNA,
back.
and you become like a fucking. Hold on, let me see if I can. I have the video, man. I could play the audio. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, this
Silent
dude,
weapons, quiet wars, brother. You know what I
this
mean?
dude, right? Yeah, yeah. But this is like the improved version of it. Um, it's really wild. This guy who used to work with some of these companies, I can't remember what his job was. I got so much in my head right now. But he found out what was going on, and he didn't even speak on it. And he started being attacked, and he realized, after a while, that's what would happen. And the thing is he wasn't even doing anything wrong. And he kept going to the doctor, and the doctor is like, we don't know what the fuck is going on with you. This doesn't make sense, you know. And he found out like he's being targeted, and then he found out like what's actually behind it, and the shit is terrifying, man. I'm not gonna lie.
So what was behind it?
They have this technology that they're able to target people
Now,
through
what is
sequencing
it?
their DNA. Like fucking. Hold on 1 second. I have it right here. If I can send a
So wait,
video.
are you saying like, is that connected with like something they're spraying or something in the atmosphere? Or
No, no, it's more convoluted. I don't want to tell you and get the shit wrong. I like to be very precise. I have it right here. Hold on. I'm getting. Yeah, I like to be very precise with shit.
Source.
Right? No. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I do like to have it though, because some of this shit is wild and it sounds crazy, but then when you actually look, like there's declassified information about this shit, and it's just like, what the fuck, dude?
yeah. Well, most of the stuff we see in media is predictive programming. Like they're 15 years or at least way more than what we see right now ahead. I had the video rollout theory. They have stuff like quantum carbon dots, like nanotech that can go into your body. It's called quantum carbon dot. And they have like lethal autonomous weapons that can like hit you with directed energy weapon. 10 years ago, I was looking into it, and they all claimed directed energy weapon was conspiracy. But now they admit it's real. You know what I mean? So, the point is, it takes there. They always
Okay, here
have
we
this
go.
stuff. Yeah.
I got it. Go ahead, Avian. I did find it. Go ahead and
Yeah,
finish with your thought.
Oh yeah, the stratospheric aerosol injection has been going on until 2021, 2012, 2001. Yeah, 2001. Yeah, 2001. And yeah,
So I know this. Like, man, I lived in a neighborhood, and it would be like some days, and like people thought that was always crazy. Like anybody that noticed, but it felt like they'd maybe like spray the sky, and then the next thing you know, the whole neighborhood's fighting. Man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What's up with that? That's crazy.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm talking about, man. Can you guys hear this? Tell me if it's clear. It's on my TV.
So, yeah, I'm in school most industry specialist who work for a private security company in Seattle, Washington. I am no longer employed by this company. I chose to leave because I could no longer in good conscience work for a corrupt company that is involved in a highly illegal federal program that is blatantly violating the constitutional rights of American citizens on a daily basis.
The military, they pioneered the internet. DARPA?
This is Steve Hoffman right here speaking, but there's multiple sources. That's why it's kind of hard to tell you, because there's multiple sources and there's multiple angles, and when you put it all together, it it basically ends up being what I'm telling you.
And now they are pioneering our interface to our brain.
For that, we really need to measure every neuron and at appropriate speeds in long periods of time. And that's what the brain is about.
They asked us to go and measure the activity in a living brain and map exhaustively the wiring diagram of every neuron connected to every other neuron.
And we're, as part of the brain initiative, thinking about the Rosetta brain, where we're not picking one particular winning technology. We're trying to stimulate new innovative technologies and to integrate them all into one brain and do that over and over again in different brains and different pathology.
Yeah, if someone could share their screen, like that would be perfect.
Yeah, we need Neurojack here. Yeah, Neurojack here for sure. Yeah.
I don't see him.
Yeah, if you throw me the link, I can share.
Okay, Machine's still here. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were here. Okay, that works then. Yeah, this shit is wild, dude. All right, just skip like the first 7 minutes. It's really long, and it's just this one point that I want to get to. It's all interesting, but it's like 4 hours long. Okay.
Is anyone else the screen is in the vertical frame like the phone, because it's very small for me using my computer?
Yeah, it's very small. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't
You
know
guys press
why.
the side button, the little enhance the screen thing. No, I know StreamYard gives you two options now, like advanced things. So you have to like manually set something up so it's not a vertical based screen.
Oh yeah, yeah, I fixed it. Yeah. It's a bit blurry, but it's fine.
Synthetic schizophrenia. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't agree with everything this dude talks about, but this is why nuance is so important, because you can find shit that's like really useful, but you don't always have to agree with everything they say. All right, but yeah, it shows you like who the hell is talking about what, so you know it's not like coming from nowhere.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines, my G.
Right. So sometimes it's good to look at sources that you might not always like completely agree with. I mean, if you agree with anyone 100%, you got to kind of wonder why, honestly, at the same time, because we're in such a time of deceit. If you trust anything 100%, like you might want to.
Especially celebrities, man. That's what's crazy.
That's true.
To me.
That's definitely
That's
true.
crazy, bro.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
this person's being pushed by the algorithm to you, and like has all this money to like be on your TV screen. Trust them. What?
Yeah, man. Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are definitely telling you the truth. They just changed their worldview.
This is the issue with it. Just like what we're talking about now, though. This is why I think is crazy. Is like.
But that doesn't mean they're never telling the truth either.
Exactly. That's
See,
what
this
I
is the
mean.
thing.
It's like they use it as a weapon, dude. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna say a bunch of ridiculous things, and then I might slip the truth in. If you're like smart, you can detect it. But now that I basically made the truth so distorted that you won't even believe the truth if I told you it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, what? Like, what are we doing, dude? Like, these people are crazy with it. And that's like, when you look into the Masons, like, yeah, like, everybody that's not us is profane. You know what I mean? Or you're not a chosen person. Yeah. So therefore, okay, you're not even a human. You're not on the same level as me as a human being. You're like a little strumpet, dude. And I don't, that's crazy. That's how they think.
Yeah, skip to about 7.5 minutes, Mohammed.
I'm no longer employed by this company. I chose to leave because I could no longer in good conscience work for a corrupt company that is involved in a highly illegal federal program that is blatantly violating the constitutional rights of American citizens on a daily basis.
The military, they pioneered the internet, DARPA, and now they are pioneering our interface to our brain.
For that, we really need to measure every neuron and at appropriate speeds in long periods of time. And that's what the brain initiative is about.
They asked us to go and measure the activity in a living brain
and map exhaustively the wiring diagram of every neuron connecting to every other neuron.
And we're, as part of the brain initiative, thinking about the Rosetta brain, where we're not picking one particular winning technology. We're trying to stimulate new innovative technologies and to integrate them all into one brain and do that.
Yeah, let's bring them all together.
Different brains, different pathological settings in humans.
And then from there, IARPA wants us to deliver the brain up to the cloud.
Exactly, bro.
40 gigabit per second brocade switch to the internet to
They're
infrastructure.
riddling people, bro. They're on the Riddler. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
You know the thing where you like stuck that thing to their head.
Yeah, that's where we're going, bro. Except it's going to be remotely, which is terrifying. Like this type of shit scares me more than FEMA camps, even, because it's just like, honestly,
It's
like not too much shit
for
actually.
the FEMA camps, my dude.
Yeah, right. It's preparing you. You probably want to go in a FEMA camp because you're having fucking hallucinations, like, of God knows what.
Oh, this is a beautiful mansion inside of a gulag.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they'll make you think you're like a superhero in like some fantasy fucking world, you know, when really you're being tortured and shit. Like, dude, it's crazy. No, this is Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
fast
Marks.
internet.
Don't you want to bring back the dinosaurs? You know, they were talking about that, bro, at one point. I don't know if you know about that. At one point, they were actually saying we can bring back the dinosaurs. They were actually saying that. This was years ago.
Well,
they were saying they had the genetic fucking. I'm like, what?
If they do, can you imagine someone like getting one, right? They got like a like Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? And then somebody steals it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like stealing. I don't know.
Israel's like, worship our Messiah.
Do you think
we'll
like
get
it'd
rid
be
of it.
possible to ride like a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the future for people? Like, do you think that's where we're heading?
Yeah, man. I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna ride those things from Avatar. Those fucking dragon things.
Little velociraptors, dude. Everybody's gonna have. We're gonna retire cars, and then we're gonna do war on dinosaurs. That's gonna be the end times.
That's it, man. That's it.
You know, they already got those reptilian humanoids out there, man. Selling selling things. They're selling stuff.
Yep. People just think they're aliens. They're just fucking abominable genetic experiments.
You know what? We kind of been
Like
trained
Plum
up on
Island.
that.
Hey, you know about Plum Island?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Dude,
Montauk
Spider-Man was telling us, man. Spider-Man was telling us the whole time.
Oh yeah. X-Men too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I call it rollout theory. I had a video on it on my old channel, but it was about how they already have like a lot of this stuff. They're just, you know, preparing people for it as they roll it out, basically.
Oh yeah.
So if you pay attention to like stuff like Black Mirror, I'm not sure you know about Black Mirror, that TV
Yes.
show. It has a lot of predictive
Yes.
programming.
Big
There's a lot of
time.
yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah, if they tell you
by
about,
the way.
if they tell you about it, they've already got it, man.
Back
Yeah,
in the
exactly,
80s, 90s wrestling, you'll have like WCW talking about like, you know, like Hulk Hogan going up against the Twin Towers. You know?
Yeah, and the New World Order.
Hulk Hogan's gonna destroy the Twin Towers. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
The
All right,
weapons of
let's see
mass
how these.
destruction against the Twin Towers tonight. WCW Tag Team Wrestling. You can find
Whoa!
but I mean, you know, what that tells me is it's like, okay, we got, you know, Ted Turner, the guy who built the Georgia Guidestone,
Right.
relaying some subliminal messages in his wrestling show. Wow. That's crazy.
Snap it to a Slim Jim. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just make it look like it's ridiculous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is
Get your goy
programming.
meat. Get your goy meat. Snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah. And Vince McMahon is dumb. Like, they're all fucking. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know, Vince got some demons coming out on, you know, on that situation. That was crazy.
You know, Ron Jeremy.
Like he's Walt Disney. Vince McMahon dressed as Walt Disney.
Ron Jeremy did an interview and he said, you know, the whole reason he got into porn was so that he could have sex with you know, Catholic and Christian young girls. You know,
Homie, chill. But that's disturbing. And you know, Ron Jeremy probably needs never mind. I probably shouldn't say what Ron Jeremy needs, but
right.
You know.
Well, this is just for entertainment and crazy conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
We're exposing and mocking those that believe in such anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Yeah.
The terrible anti-Semitic conspiracy theories promoted by some of these channels around. They say things like the Jews are dominating the world through Zionism. How dare them?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How dare they say that? You know, the ADL is my favorite thing in the world.
I sent money last week. Yeah.
Well, you know, they sent me a Christmas card.
Right.
It wasn't even Christmas.
Right. Yeah, I know. Me too.
Or no, a Hanukkah
They're really
card, rather.
generous.
Sorry.
Really generous. All right, let's see how these conspiracy theorists twist these fine gentlemen's words, these men of science. Who only want to understand the brain to better serve us.
Yeah, anything that's telling you that they want to help you. It's for your protection. We want to save you.
Yes.
So we have to map out your brain to every single small little, you know, neuron. It's not to control you. Why would we want to do that? Who wants slaves? Play it out, dude.
Right.
Get with the times. Slavery is.
Well, see, no. This is an anti-Semitic misunderstanding, though. You know, you need to read the book, the anti-Semitic imagination. You know, but when they talk about slavery, it's not the same kind of slavery. There's different kinds of slavery on scene. Okay, Jewish slavery is different. You want to be a Jewish slave because they take care of their slaves, right?
Absolutely.
And
the
so
ADL
when you
takes
serve
care of their slaves. The Zionists take care of their slaves. They're the best slave masters in history, really. If you really think about it.
Yeah. Like if you go to Israel, like they spit on Christians, you know, that's great. That's
beautiful. Who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, I'd go there. You know, maybe I can wear a little hat and spit on Christians and pump walls or whatever it is.
Right, but they say that, you know, you'll want to serve them because they're so righteous, and you'll want to be righteous too. And
Yeah, there's a lot of righteousness in you know, spitting on people that clearly think that they you know, found this Messiah. That's stupid, dude. That's stupid.
well,
I
I
mean,
mean, come on, look
it's
how
not like,
righteous the Talmud.
well, I'll tell you what's righteous is Isaiah 53. You know, I mean, did I say that?
You may have.
Can you call Tovia and tell her I'm sorry? You know,
Yeah, I told you I'll forgive you. He's a good guy.
cut me a break, Tovi.
He's on the up and up.
Yeah.
He loves Christians.
You know who's not dominating the world?
I mean, Jews, obviously.
Well, it's not the you know, it's the Hindus, dude. Come on, it's the Hindus.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's really Buddhist. Come on.
Right. Yeah, no, sure, definitely. Yeah, I know. Blaming the Jews, that's not nice.
No, who would do that? Who would even think of doing that? Of course, it's the Hindus.
Right.
But anyways, would you say the percent? What would be the percentage of the people mapping the brain that way that are Jewish, like us?
I mean, Jews are really smart, so you know.
I mean, they're the only ones that could map the brain.
Are us Gentiles, right? Yeah, us Gentiles aren't smart enough, so you know they're chosen, and we're not. So you know,
Well, they got that supertism. You know what I mean? Like just like
it
numbers.
they don't ever
Crunching.
really explain how they're chosen or what they were chosen for,
It's
but
the numbers, dude. You can't.
I
You cannot multiply fast as them, dude. That's proof.
that is proof. Yeah, definitely.
You can't control a bank as fast as them. That's proof.
Right. Yeah. And Jews are always successful and have lots of money. Wait, but how are they persecuted?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
I don't think it. I really don't think it's just them. But I mean, I do think that they have a lot of strings they're pulling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they flee. They hobnob where power is what it is, and they've intermarried with everyone of prestige. So yeah, most definitely.
Well, you know, have you ever Google mapped how many Masonic lodges are in your general area?
Oh Lord, yeah.
Like the amount of pinpoints there is, dude. You do it like any town in America, it's like that. Like I've been at least. I always do it. If I go into a new town, I look up Masonic lodges near me. I've always done that. And man, they're everywhere, dude. Everywhere. You know. And like the mindset of it is like this is the synagogue for the Gentiles. But it's all Kabbalistic. Every bit of it. It's like, oh, like you want to know the mysteries? You want to know the mysteries? We
Yeah.
got the mysteries. We'll get you in the police department. No problem. You need a lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh, Damien Apple. Oh, dude, we'll get you out of prison, bro. We know you didn't do it. And even if you did, who cares, man? That's our thing.
Yeah, man, criminal justice.
I don't know. I think what we're going to see in the future is just like a demonic hierarchy where like the president's like openly like practicing Satanism in the White House, and everybody's like, yeah.
I mean, what problem do you have with Moloch?
Well,
Clinton loves her.
yeah, she do.
Clinton loves her.
She do.
I don't like Moloch so much.
Podesta, that guy, man, that's a creepy man, dude. There's guys in Brooklyn that were like taking videos of him like walking through like the city, you know what I mean? And they're like just like talking crazy to this guy, man. Like they're telling him to his face what what he's into, and he's like making veiled threats, you know what I mean? But the guy like walks around New York City, no like bodyguards, no nothing, dude. Like the brazenness of these people. And like, I thought about this. It was like if you were a true criminal, you would do something so crazy that even if somebody like, found out about it, you would make it sound crazy. Like you would make that person sound crazy at the fact that that's how crazy the act is. They're the type of people who be like, no one's gonna believe you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no,
when you're in that position.
it is.
Like, yeah, dude,
It is
because
true
now
too.
they think like that. They think like, oh, if I get to this position of power, and then I get on this news network, they'll never imagine that I'm a mass murdering like cannibal Satanist. Because
Yup.
I've been on David Letterman, dude.
Right. It's sad because it's true. Well, I mean, look at the poor pizza guy. The poor pizza guy, the the crazy conspiracy theorist who ran in and was going to shoot up the place because he thought there was a crazy conspiracy involving kids in the pizza place.
Well,
And then you find
I don't know.
and then you find
Yeah, I think that's true, but I think the reality of it is too is like they'll even like obfuscate something like that and like turn it into a psychological operation. You know what I mean?
that's
And
exactly
it's
what they
not
did.
necessary. It's like, yeah, okay, like this actually happened, right? But now we're going to turn it into propaganda,
Yep.
and use it to cause the population like this, satanic witchcraft curse type schizophrenia on the population by looking into our Moloch cult or something. Like it's weird like that,
Right.
dude. I don't know.
It's just insane, dude, because you look up the crazy conspiracy theorist who ran in with the gun and he has an IMDb profile.
Oh, so he was an actor. So in other words,
Yes.
they sent an actor in. They sent an actor, just like they
Yeah.
sent those guys into the Capitol building that were dressed up like like Norse gods. They celebrate in
Right.
Freemasonry, and yeah, the god of thunder. It's Thor, the god of thunder. Look, he's missing his hand, and he's holding a staff, just exactly as the Masonic depiction depicts, and he's doing the thing with his feet. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're not noticing that. This guy has an IMDb profile. He's an actor. He's supposed to be in
Yes.
one. Like,
Yeah,
come
they
on,
did
dude.
it because people were starting to get too close to the truth of what was going on. And so they created a paper tiger version of the story. And they're just like, it's all crazy conspiracy theory. And then Megyn Kelly interviewed like James Alefonte. And they're like, it's all completely preposterous. It's like, no, don't show any of the like crazy Instagram posts with like kids tied to fucking chairs and shit with like grown men standing behind them in sexual positions, or the like Dahmer artwork that Podesta has, of like the same type of artwork that Dahmer had of his victims, like beheaded with their like bodies twisted and contorted, you
You know
know,
what I think it is?
after death and like all this crazy shit. They just made it look like, oh, they think they're running a child trafficking inside a pizza place, you know, and that wasn't at all what people were saying. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. That was just like a one location or something that
Right, exactly.
like
That they met up.
something. Yeah.
Right. So they made it look like it was crazy, and that's what the whole thing is. Oh, there's just like Clinton and all them are running this trafficking inside this pizza place, and that's
Well, dude,
that's the
it's
whole
a secret society for one, right? But and
right.
it's connected to the Grovers, and then like you know, I think the reality of it is, if you like Platonos, like Rush Crown of Thorns, he talks about the Palladians. I think they're straight up Palladians, dude, or like you know, like some Clintonian faction Illuminati, like it's something like that. You know, where it's actually like this is a real thing. Like this isn't just some like conspiracy theory, dude. Like they're actually doing this, and you know they're trained and like they come out of secret societies in their colleges prepared for these roles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be the president of the United States, and then he is, and then that guy is, Boneser,
Right.
like whatever, you know, like that's what it is, man. They're a
Well, yeah,
brotherhood
that's
of
what
death.
Bohemian Grove and Skull and Bones and Scroll and Key and all that shit. Yeah, most definitely.
Right, but if you look into the members of those, like, I guess, like fraternities, right, at Yale and, you know, like Harvard, it's because it's there too. It's like the most famous people you can imagine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
or like a lot of like we looked into one like Phi Beta Kappa or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like that,
That ties to hip hop and shit, and like the Buell
yeah,
Society. That's like
exactly.
like that's just like the black side of it. Yeah.
Well, not only,
And you
and then
find out
you know,
like people like Jay-Z and shit were like
yeah,
descended from like slave traders and shit. It's fucking
it's a
crazy.
dude. There's like you know images of him blatantly in like you know Scottish Rite regalia and a Masonic lodge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like no big deal. Or like Prince Charles Masons or something like whatever it was he was in. I don't know where it was really, but he was you know
Yeah.
there's you could find that. What's that guy? He came from Australia. He was like on the you know basically the Voice or American Got Talent for Australia. You know what I'm saying? And he won, and then he
Okay.
came out and like exposed all the Freemasonry like
Oh
right
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
counter. Yeah, you can find
Mm-hmm.
this video on YouTube and stuff. But he goes through all this too, by the way. Like he breaks it down systematically with their own books, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
like people don't. I mean, people think that video is kind of a joke, but it's not, dude. He's
No.
going to like the Masonic, you know, encyclopedia. He's talking about the specific celebrities and like how all of them are involved in it, and it's not a
Yeah.
joke. You know what I mean? And like that's when you're dealing with occultists on this level, like this level of like elitism and occultism. Like it's one thing to just like kind of like dabble with it, not actually like be involved with what they're involved with, you know, like there's a level of innocence at least to like the common man who might like look into like, oh, I played with a Ouija board one. This is not the same, man. These
No.
people are you know highly trained, like straight up black magicians, you know, uh like flaunting their religion towards the public, you know, like Weishaupt
Right.
religion, the Illuminati religion, literally. Like, you know,
Yeah. They're
this isn't
17.
just like regular Freemasonry. Like this is you know, like
They're 17.
yeah, exactly. It's
The Illuminati was the outer core of the Sabbateans, really, if you get down to it. So when you talk about Satanism, that's really what you're talking about. You're not talking about Anton LaVey. You're talking about Frankism. You're talking about like that
well,
shit. You're
LaVey
talking
admits
about
it. LaVey
yeah,
admits it in his book, The Satanic Rituals. Like he talks about Templar
yeah,
rituals. He talks about, you
yeah,
know, people are mistaken if they think the Bavarian Illuminati is just a society that only works
Right.
in politics, and politics and black magic don't mix. Like he says that. You know, he
Right.
talks about
Yes.
like Christian organizations cloaked as like, you know, like satanic organizations cloaked as Christianity in that book.
Yes. No,
So
exactly. Yes.
and like I always reference that his work because I think like
Yeah,
fucking
people think it's crazy, and then you read like the top occultist, and they tell you themselves like all the shit the
because
conspiracy
he
theorists
put
talk
it
about.
there
Yeah.
because he knew that
Yeah.
Christians wouldn't pick it up. You
Right.
know, that's the
No,
thought
yeah, I
of a
agree with
lot of
that.
these guys. Like the same with the Theosophists is like, we know you Christians are so against these types of books. We're gonna put our plans directly in here and what's really going on because we'll know you'll never pick this book up. And I learned that. I was like, I want to know my enemy. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Right.
like I was interested in Satanism. I just wanted to know what they said. And because if you don't understand what your enemy is saying, how can you fight that? You know what I mean? Like,
No, I totally agree with you.
yeah,
That's how I started too. But yeah, that's when I had like a complete revelation. Is when I started studying more on some of this occult shit that I'm not into, and realizing, yo, these people are legitimately talking about the same thing that they say conspiracy theorists are crazy for talking about, down to the fact that the elite literally believe that they are descended from non-human beings.
So I gotta run, homies.
Like they say that openly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you guys want to roast some people, just come through.
So whether I believe that or not, when David Icke says that they are not, you know, completely human,
Yeah, talk to
whether
you
or
guys.
not that's true, they say
Yeah,
it.
that's right, David. Yeah. Yeah. Blessings, guys.
later, man.
Blessings.
Yeah, blessing.
They themselves say it, that their bloodline is not the same. They are different from us. They consider us their creation. That's actually what they believe. If you really get into it,
We the blue bloods. These are just the peasants.
nut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Them's the profane. We Masons is much better. We don't need no God. We got some mind.
No,
You
they
know,
believe
Thomas
they are.
Paine said common sense. And a man knows that common sense says that a virgin can't give birth to no God. That's crazy talk, boy. Better get with the guillotines.
Right. Yeah.
Smoke.
But they convince themselves they're not
I
fully
don't know,
human
man.
like
Hey,
us.
maybe so. Maybe you know. I think
I don't
they
know.
probably.
I think they're deceived into believing that. I don't think it's true.
No,
But I think
I
they
don't think
believe it.
that's true either. You know what? Like they're Nephilim blood or
They
something. Come on, dude.
they believe it though, bro, for sure. Something like
We
that,
did.
yeah.
We descended from Quasiquota. You know,
Yeah, basically.
we ascended from the Watchers. The Watchers made us in their little labs, and then Inky, our creator god, you know,
Right.
he put us in a little tube,
Yeah, man.
and then he taught us how to
Put
make
us in a
Crimeas, man, or whatever they're called, half horse, you know,
Chimera,
horse
yeah.
people,
Right.
chimeras. Yeah, dude. And then Noah
Yeah.
came, and Gilgamesh was like, "No, Noah, dude, how do I become immortal?" And Noah was like, "Chill out, dude. Get away from my boat."
Mm.
Did you know that's what's said in there? Actually, if you translate it into English.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Billy Carsons are working on this new documentary. It's called the Billy Carsons Watchers Nostradamus Astronomus uh, Disclosure.
Right.
Disclosure.
Billy Carson is funny.
Did you see that interview with him and it was a debate between what was that guy's name? He's like a Protestant guy that like studies.
Wes Huff.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. That dude Wes
Yeah,
Huff
it was.
embarrassed him bad, dude. Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
this? I have the scroll right here. And I was like, dude, oh, no way. How he pulled the
Yeah.
scroll out on him. You know what I mean? Like, who pulls the scroll out that the lie that you're making up? And he's like, look at the scroll. It says, you know, people are nuts, man.
He's like, this is 450,000 years old.
That dude's smart, man. He is, but you know, from my
He
perspective,
is.
it's like he's like smart. He almost like has spiritual autism. That's how I see guys like that. Because it's like you're like, oh, dude, like you figured out, you went to all these scrolls, but you couldn't figure out like there was a continuation of the church. Like, I mean, if we're gonna be honest, you know, it's like, oh, it happened at the, you know, I have all these scrolls, but somehow I believe Martin Luther. Like, what? Like, or like, you know, some reformed thing. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand that. Because in my historical research, when I look at the history of things, it's like there's no way, dude. You can't come to like a Reformed Protestant understanding of history unless they're like curating you in like their little colleges or something. Like it's something like that. It's got to be, dude. Like I don't know how they pull it off, but that's the greatest illusion that you can imagine. Like convincing a Protestant, you know, who's studying like literal, the material pieces of paper we're talking about, and doesn't come to the conclusions that, you know, there was a church all throughout that time period. Like, how do you make sense of that? Crazy. And half of the scrolls he gets, they came from monasteries, dude. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about okay, yeah, you got the scroll with the you know, biblical verse on it that you just dated, but where was it kept and who wrote it? And it's like, oh, those Orthodox monks. Okay, so the Orthodox monks wrote this scroll that you're talking about, or the, you know what I mean, like this old Bible that you're talking about, and somehow don't make the connection that, hey, maybe the people were right that you know, made this text.
Right. Well,
From his perspective as a Christian, do you understand what I'm saying? As a Christian, like how could you do that?
Well, Martin Luther was a Rosicrucian too, and it doesn't take long to figure that out.
No,
like, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to find.
He has the same you know, emblem as them, dude. He's like signed all his paperwork with the Rosicrucian cross. He talks highly of alchemy. You know, he's got an entire like documented paperwork on the Kabbalah, and like in aspects of it he denounces it, but there's also aspects where he's like all for it. You know what I mean? So it's weird. Like he was definitely like into like hermetic Gnostic tradition, and all his writings are like talking to the Catholics as like rude and respectful as you can possibly be. And in many ways, he was right about those things. But what he wasn't right on was like, oh, like the Roman Catholics have their scholars. Well, I'm a scholar, and I can say whatever I want. If I want to take out a book of the Bible, I can do that, you know, or take this stuff out of context and put it in my edition. What are they going to do about it? You know, it was like intentionally to destroy Christianity.
Right.
Hey, Twilight, when you have time, can you find me the Dzogchen books you recommend? I'm gonna read like 1 or 2 books on Dzogchen because I don't have much.
Oh, I thought I sent you. I thought
no,
I
you
sent
didn't.
it to
You didn't send
I'm
it.
sorry.
No.
Hey man, I'm gonna head out, man. All right, later, guys.
All
Have
right,
a
take
good
care,
day.
bro.
Have a good
Yeah,
day.
man. You too, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few here. Actually, I thought I sent it to you. My bad.
That's okay.
Yeah. Late, but or what it called? Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. No, wait. Right. Where? Okay. So it's let's see. Oh, that's why. Do you have Telegram? I see why. I see what happened.
Oh, you want me to move to Telegram or?
Well, it's because Discord has a 10 milligram or 10 milligram, 10 megabyte limit, and some of the files are bigger than that, and that's why I didn't send it. That's what it was. I was trying to figure out why, but that's what it was. Some of these files are bigger. Some aren't though, but like the main ones that I wanted you to see are so just for like sending files, it's like the best. That's where all my books are. I have like a library on Telegram. Healing